Was. But now JT's an intern. You planning on staying around, JT? What's your overarching goal here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm planning on staying around. I've had a great time. Like we talked. Bink said last week. I worked with him Wednesday, Thursday, then Friday. I came in and worked also with Sean Levine. Had a great time doing Fesco in the morning, and now we're here, Cody and Gold. And it seems like Spec likes me because I'm here till at least August 16th working. So I like that.
Yeah, you don't want to go the way it's shouted out.
At least 1 month.
Yeah, you don't want to go the way it's shouted out to JT. But he did. He's got the Mahomes real jersey on now, the one he wears now. You know, to celebrate the quarterback and Netflix and all this. Last week he was rocking the Mahomes Texas Tech. And I told him he needs the high school version, the White House version of Patrick Mahomes, and that's what he's searching for at this point.
We got plenty to get to today. Josh Vernier, our Royals insider, will join us coming up at 12:30. In about 30 minutes, we'll talk about some of the things to focus on for the Royals in the second half of the season, especially considering the fact that the first half of this year has gone so poorly. But let's start today's show talking about the Chiefs because, well, I think they're the best thing in town. And 1 week from today, Alex and I will be sitting up in St. Joe watching rookies attend a short mini camp.
And quarterbacks.
You know, sitting out of that field in St. Joe. Has anyone checked the temperature yet? It's going to be real hot.
And quarterbacks.
And quarterbacks. Well, look, Mahomes is always there. We understand that the
Blake Gabbert.
rookie part of this conversation doesn't really apply to Patrick Mahomes, who will be at the ESPYs tonight. He'll be in Tahoe later.
Tuesday's 91, by the way, so I assume Wednesday. Would you say Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah, I assume it'll be high 80s, 90s.
God, camp's back. I'm just going to get super hot. Last year was so tame, temperature-wise. I'm not prepared for every
2 years
day
ago
just
was hot.
being
Real hot.
Yes, and I'm worried that I'm heading directly back towards that. But I'll prepare for that accordingly. But there was a stat that Warren Sharp had sent out that really made me think about the post-Andy Reid era. Because I feel like we've spent a lot more time, certainly on this show, but just in general, Bink, talking about the post-Kelsey era. Because we understand the problems that come with that. It's Patrick's number one weapon. He's aging, getting towards he's at the latter end of his career, right? Whether it's 3 years from now or 4 years from now. He's certainly closer to the end than he was at any other stage in his career because he's gotten older. But he put out a stat that made me really point out the fact that what you should be concerned about is how to surround Patrick Mahomes and an offensive system around him that can fail by no means when Andy is gone. Because that's the one big advantage Tom Brady had in his career. He always had the same guy. Same coach the entire run. Hell, even Peyton Manning had the same coach for at least a good chunk of his run. It wasn't the entire time. He had to go over to Denver. I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes can't win without Andy. But last year, the Chiefs led the NFL in plays of 20-plus yards by a pretty good margin. But they only had one passing touchdown travel more than 20 yards. The air yards on touchdowns was a quarter of what it was 4 years ago. As a matter of fact, the air yards on his touchdown passes has gone down each of the last 4 years, and it's been reduced by half each year. 17 yards, then 12, then 8.5, then 4.5. Like, he only had one pass play that traveled more than 19 yards in the touchdown end. They have that's an Andy Reid stat, in my opinion.
And the defense is...
Mahomes will execute whatever he says, but Andy Reid has to design it that makes the offense succeed under any circumstance.
And you see why that happened. And this shows Andy Reid's adjustments to it because the defense has not let the Chiefs take the top off the defense, so to speak. So they brought it in, and the Chiefs have found ways to score any way possible. It shows you how this offense has just changed.
But that's Andy, man.
It's Andy.
Like, somebody's not going to design it as well as Andy. I don't care who your next dream head coach is for the Kansas City Chiefs, unless Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan or one of these other guys that you consider his contemporary from an offensive perspective is going to walk through the door. It ain't going to be that easy. Like, what are the odds you're going to find that kind of player that quickly again, right? I mean, I worry for the post-Andy era. Not because I don't think Mahomes will still be great. Mahomes can win. But for the chasing history part of it. I feel like they need each other for the chasing history part of it, at least in this early going, where you're like, how many rings can you get? It instantly gets harder the second Andy is in here because of stuff like this.
The good news is all that information that Patrick Mahomes is soaked in from Andy Reid, like, that's not going anywhere.
He'll know what he likes, yeah.
Like, and I honestly think that Mahomes, probably a year away from getting the Peyton Manning treatment as far as, like, Peyton called his own plays at the end. Like, most of the time he called his own plays.
Yeah, he was fully running the offense by the time that was done.
Him choosing what to do. And the Chargers actually gave Phillip Rivers that chance when he was having – I mean, Phillip Rivers had some good seasons. He really did. So
No, he did.
they let him do it at the end. And to me, that makes most sense from Mahomes. He knows the offense so well. He sees what the defense is doing. He's a protege of Andy Reid in the National Football League within 2 minutes. Why waste time? Let Patrick Mahomes call it. That's eventually what you're going to see with him. But the good news is all that information, that there's back and forth conversations Mahomes has had with Reid, like that's a big part of who he is. Like that's not going anywhere. Like everything he learned. And I'm sure Brady took some of that same Belichick type mentality with him because that's all he knew when he went down to Tampa. But I think the good news is replacing Andy Reid's going to be tough. We all know that. And to assume a guy like Matt Nagy that knows Andy Reid and can step in, Doug Peterson's one of those guys that knows the system and Andy Reid well. It's going to be the most coveted job in professional sports when it does come open. And I know it looks like Matt Nagy, the heir apparent, this guy, whatever. But I'm just saying, man, it's also going to be tougher too because every great coach in America, college or pro, is going to want to be the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Sure, but I mean, that doesn't mean you can trade for or get. You got to hope that one of these guys who you think is a really good head coach gets fired and just waits out Andy. Look, at Nagy be a perfectly fine head coach. I still give Nagy some credit. He did make the playoffs twice with Mitch Trubisky. I mean,
Mitch, and coach of the year. He's gives me coach of the year is Andy Reid.
I think in the end, the pressure got to him, and he really started to he started to compound some mistakes because he felt like his job was on the line, and that's when he started to make some bad decisions. But when you think about where he started versus where it was, Nagy could have done a much worse job in that role than he did at that time. But it's just, I don't want to really know the world without. And I don't know. I mean, a lot of this comes down to the same thing. Alex and I have had this conversation before, and how long we think it might be that Andy is the coach here. My guess is at least 5 years, right?
65 now, coach till he's 70.
I mean, Bill Belichick's 72 and still coaching, right?
But he seems so rejuvenated with Mahomes, doesn't he? Seems like a totally different dude.
The one thing I'll never admit.
When Alex was, I've noticed the difference. I don't know about you when you go to camp and see Andy Reid. He just seems a hell of a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
And obviously he's won now.
Well,
twice.
and there's one thing that obviously stands out in that, which is, like, for me, the way I view any of this is, like, and I'm seeing on Twitch, it's like, oh, health will be a big factor. Yeah, I get it. I know that health will be a factor. There's no doubt about that it'll be a factor. But the one thing that absolutely stands out to me in that department still is, why would a guy whose only life obsession has been football think he's in a punt, pass, and kick contest when he's like 13? He was a high school, college coach, assistant, became an NFL head coach. He did all of this stuff, lived, breathed. He's texting Patrick Mahomes at 3 a.m. plays that he has in mind for the season the next year. And all of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes is going to walk through the door, the single most talented quarterback in NFL history. He's going to be like, you know what? I had a good run, but I think I'm going to hang him up. Really? Andy? I have a hard time imagining in that. Right?
See,
I mean, it's just, I have a hard time seeing him ever walking away.
You're right. He lives football. Bill Walsh, the same way. Bill Walsh, the great offensive mind with the San Francisco 49ers. It's one of the few books. I do read books about these coaches. I like these coaching books. And, when they put up Pete Carroll's book, I like to read Bill Walsh's book, Building a Champion there in San Francisco. I loved it because he'd be at the dinner with his wife. He'd think of a play and write it down on a napkin while they're at dinner. You've heard similar things to Andy Reid, and that cut by Patrick Mahomes, we talked about Andy Reid.
So he's calling him at like 3 in the morning.
You know why? Because Andy Reid just thought of a play. And you know what happens when you're at night? You don't want to forget about it. I don't know if you're in the middle of a sleep and you wake up. But remember, if you have dreams, if you don't write it down, you're not going to remember it. If you don't wake up during REM stage, you're not going to remember it. Like you dream every night, but unless you wake up during the dream is the only time you actually remember it. So he remembers these plays. So he gets so excited he calls Patrick Mahomes. That just shows his enthusiasm for the game of football. It's what he loves. But I do think the good news is, because Patrick Mahomes entering his 7th season with Andy Reid, all that information, all those times, every day at practice, all those times those guys communicate, the meetings after practice, you name it. He knows Andy Reid inside and out. And for the most part, this is one of the things with Bieniemy is, he's getting an opportunity to be an offensive coordinator, but is there one guy that he played for Andy Reid? He came here in 2013 every day with Andy Reid.
Yeah.
You would think they would be more marketable in the National Football League, someone that knows every single thing this coach is about. Well, that's Mahomes. The photographic memory, whatever he's got, he knows what Andy Reid's thinking. And, Mahomes is one of those guys that will call him and he'll be, hey, coach, what do you think about this? Even in his 70s, Andy Reid's chilling on a beach. He's calling Pat. Hey, I saw you last week and you did something I don't want you doing. This is what I want you to do. Like, that'll still happen through his 70s.
The next head coach will have immense pressure. He's going to be taking over for one of the single greatest head coaches of all time.
Like Ron Prince type pressure for Bill Steiner?
Worse. He has to take over for that kind of legendary coach because Andy Reid is going to go down as one of the 5 greatest NFL coaches of all time. Oh, Andy's going to have Patrick Mahomes, which means if you don't win, it's your fault.
And the greatest fan base in the
fault.
NFL.
It's not the quarterback's fault. It's your fault. You don't win with Patrick Mahomes, that's on you.
How instrumental do you think Mahomes will be
that.
for the next head coach? And obviously, there's a good relationship there with Nagy.
I would ask.
I would assume you and Alex put your input in for your producer. It's not just something thrown on you. You get to.
I would assume
put
Mahomes would have a pretty loud voice.
Mahomes' voice will be the loudest.
Call it a hunch.
It'll be Clark Hunt saying, "Who do you want?" Brett Veach should be in there too. Who are you thinking? Who do you work well with? You get along with Matt? You guys see eye to eye? Same offensive philosophies? Is that direction you want to go? Or do you want somebody
fresh
else?
face? We'll get you whoever I would say we'll get you whoever the hell you want.
You tell us, Patrick.
You want EB back? We'll get you EB.
Get him whoever else.
You want us to? You want the offensive coordinator for whoever?
You want Cliff Kingsbury just to have a ceremonial job with their organization, Patrick? You got it.
You name the person, and we'll get him.
Not a head coaching job with Cliff, but just be on the staff.
Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll talk about the NFL team who was selected for Hard Knocks. Not should be surprising. It was clearly the obvious choice once every team turned down the optional part of it, and they were going to get to choose. But ESPN.com's been putting out these articles. We've talked about Chris Jones' stance on this. Well, they put out the corners yesterday, Bink. Mm-hmm. Guess who didn't make the list? One L'Jarius Sneed. Now, while I think this is a bit of a snub, because I think L'Jarius Sneed deserves, he was an honorable mention, not mentioned amongst the other players. I think that you should seriously consider him a top 10 corner, but I think the thing that the execs think of, something that will hurt L'Jarius Sneed's eventual market, whether it be re-signing with Kansas City or a free agent thing is, he doesn't do it the way top 10 corners in your mind do it. The Jalen Ramseys, the Pat Surtains, the Sauce Gardners, guys who made the top 10 list. They are pure coverage corners who get interceptions. Sneed is a do-everything guy. He does do some of the coverage. He's not always on the number one. He also blitzes and is a tackling machine. Things that it's like, it goes back to our conversation about interior defensive line. Sneed does it different than how other top 10 corners typically do it from a you are a top 10 corner perspective. And I think that's what's dinging him here and what might eventually affect his contract status here in Kansas City. Because we talked about this with Orlando Brown Jr. How many teams, if this is all players and execs, how many teams do you think view L'Jarius Sneed like a top corner like the Chiefs do? The Chiefs do. How many other teams do you think view him that way?
Easily half the league. Because if you have a guy that can play inside and outside, you have that versatility to do both. Not just one discipline. No. You can play inside and outside. And, oh, by the way, you're a good blitzer from the nickel position. We ask you to blitz. Now, I have no doubt. I mean, this guy can do everything in the secondary. He can play safety. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he plays all over the field. He is versatile.
The versatility he has where he's not pigeonholed to just being on the outside and you're a shadow corner. He moves to the inside, the outside.
But we usually view that as a good thing for corner versus the versatility for other positions.
You would think this would be more marketable.
Typically, we like a guy who we just put outside.
Well, to me, a guy that can play inside and outside is in your top 10. A guy that it doesn't matter where he's at, he can play it.
But that's not how people like around the league. That's not how people view the corner. When we have those conversations about what makes a corner great, the normal thing we discuss, Pink, is a guy who you can stick on their top wide receiver and walk away.
Shut down Revis Island.
Yeah, that's not the way Sneed does his business. Like, Trip McDuffie covered Jamar Chase in the AFC title game as much as L'Jarius Sneed did. So, I mean, I think Sneed is a really good player. So this isn't about where the reason why I think he's lower on this list is because I think the league doesn't view him doesn't view him the same as those other guys because he doesn't do it the same as those other guys, Pink.
It's good
I
for
think
the
it'll
Kansas
hurt
City
his
Chiefs
market
that he's not
eventually.
starting to get that because these are things his agent looks at and says, well, he's a top 10 corner in the NFL, according to the experts. But this poll doesn't matter whether you think he's that good or not, because what matters is, how good does he think he is, and the Kansas City Chiefs think he is. But I just think when you have a special player, remember Stephon Gilmore when he was with the Patriots? He won Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And right after that, the next season, when they played the Chiefs, who did Gilmore guard? It wasn't Tyreek Hill.
No,
it was Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, it was
the
Sammy.
entire game. No matter where Sammy went, Gilmore, that just shows the respect
That's just
that he had
because
with the
they
Chiefs.
thought he was their third down guy.
But
And he was
Gilmore
trying to
was
take
the
away
shutdown
the third
guy,
down
and
option.
Snead can do so many different things. To me, Snead he doesn't play as many positions, obviously, as the Honey Badger, but I always considered him kind of Honey Badger light because of his versatility. And they preach it. Veach talks about it. He went on with Pat McAfee talking about, hey, Andy Reid loves his versatility, which he does. You see the offensive line. Can you play center? Oh, can you play guard? How about if we had to put you at tackle? This is what he wants with his offensive lineman. So what they're doing with the defensive lineman. Hugh comes in here. He does what Jones does, inside and outside. They drafted a Shamari Connor from Virginia Tech, who, by the way, is a chip off the old block of L'Jarius Sneed. That's why I didn't think, okay, are they going to pay L'Jarius Sneed or not? Or his heir apparent
Well, probably find out once they
drafted from
get him in
Virginia
draft.
Tech this year, who, by the way,
Like Brian Cook? Yeah.
from the nickel, led Virginia Tech in sacks in 2019. So here's the defensive back that led a program like Virginia Tech in sacks.
So
He plays safety, corner. He also shuts down tight ends. Sounds a little bit like L'Jarius Sneed, doesn't it?
the other part is, so they haven't signed L'Jarius Sneed to a contract extension. They let Charvarius Ward walk, but they drafted Trent McDuffie, a traditional cover number one corner guy in the first round. They're telling you that they also value corners the way the rest of the league does, especially if they don't pay Sneed. By the way, here's what the scout said. Solid starter, was surprised he could play inside for the Chiefs as well as he did. Long and can run and smart enough to play inside and out. Has the skill set to disrupt on the outside and maximize what the Chiefs do schematically. Not sure he's the most fluid, man-oriented type to be a top-tier corner. Just so you know, other guys receiving votes in this, Charvarius Ward and Trent McDuffie. So somewhere along the way, some other GM ranked out those guys as well as being there. I think it's in the end going to hurt his market. I wonder if people will look at L'Jarius Sneed and be like, does he work well because he's perfect for the Chiefs system? Or does he work well because if you just made him do anything for anybody, he'd be great at it? And I think people still have that question because he doesn't go about it the traditional way. He is a great fit for Kansas City. He's been a great player for Kansas City. Hopefully he has another great year in Kansas City. But I wonder how the rest of the league views him, especially when you see these kinds of rankings.
I thought the McDuffie pick was interesting because so the Chiefs were content. They're satisfied with grabbing like a Josh Williams. Hey, they're content with getting a Jalen Watson in the 7th round, right? Defensive backs, it didn't matter where they get him. Jerry Sneed, not a first-round pick, a second-round pick. They're okay getting guys mid to late round. But with McDuffie, they saw him slide. I mean, obviously every team goes through every draft, and they say about 15 to 20 first-round grades. They don't give everybody a first-round grade. Just because you're selected in the first round, most NFL teams don't have first-round grades on
usually
you.
for 15 to 22 players.
Yeah, like Felix this year, the Chiefs grabbed. I mean, a lot of teams probably second-round grade with him, to be quite honest with you. He went the first because this year was 12 to 15 real first-round grades from this year's draft. But they said, no, we want that. So they see McDuffie falling. But the Chiefs and Brett Veach have basically built their team like teams should be building to stop Patrick Mahomes. Like with all these teams, okay,
versatile and movement,
get defensive
and
backs,
confusion,
get edge rushers because you've got to be able to get to Mahomes and you have to disrupt them in the secondary. That's how you stop them. But the Chiefs have done the same thing because what the Chiefs say is, well, everybody's trying to catch who we have a quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. Okay, so now the Chiefs are geared up to stop Justin Herbert. They're geared up to stop Aaron Rodgers. They're geared up to stop Josh Allen. They're geared up to stop Joe Burrow. Because they're drafting how other teams drafted to stop the Chiefs. You look at what they're doing. They're not content. They want to build that defense up. I do believe that's a priority. That's why I keep telling you I think it's a top 10 defense this year. Because really, you look at what the Chiefs are doing, it speaks volumes when you kind of piece things together, what direction they're going. Building this defense seems like a high priority.
Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll talk a little bit about who you should be monitoring for the Royals in the second half of the season. Hard Knocks is announced, Bink. Training camp's around the corner. They'll be out there on the 18th. They went with the New York Jets.
Who, by the way, show up the same time the Chiefs did.
Okay, so there were only 4 teams who could be selected for this, like forced to be selected for it because you have to meet a certain number of a certain amount of like things. So it had to be, oh, you didn't make the postseason. Oh, you haven't done it in the
last
next number of
10
years. Yeah. And that's why you can't like make the Chiefs do it. First, just the not making the postseason part means the Chiefs don't have to do Hard Knocks ever again. I mean, at least not for the next 10 years, for the foreseeable future.
Which NFL Films would absolutely, positively love.
I mean, now the quarterback
I don't
series
Reid
is
would
out
like
today.
it, but yeah.
The quarterback series is out today, so
Yeah.
maybe that's. And I'm jealous.
And I told you,
People
Chiefs
are-
in-house production
You know,
is
Alex,
just
who
as
just
good
got
as
the day
Hard
off. You know, he's watched like all 8 episodes
absolutely.
already, like a true degenerate. I'm gonna try to get through like one today. That's my goal. Could do 1 episode of quarterback, and then I'll work through the rest.
You'll watch the ESPYs.
But the Hard Knocks team, I mean, I want to be interested, Bink. I want this team to draw me back in. But the last 3 times there's been good, proper drama around a team, they didn't show any of it. So I'm not excited. I want to be excited.
Oh, I am. I'm
Dude,
totally
Antonio
excited
Brown
about the
was
Jets.
getting frostbite on his feet.
Now, that was
out
fun.
here
Antonio
doing
Brown
a
made it
national
fun.
manhunt for a helmet. They didn't show any of that, Bink.
The hot air balloon was fun, though.
But
They
I
didn't show
know,
that.
But they didn't show the drama. What you want?
I almost
the,
had his helmet, too.
I
It was
want-
1 year off.
Want the drama? What was he offering? Like 20 grand for that or
Yeah,
something?
1 year off for the helmet. I was going to help him out. Here, AB, here's your helmet. No, the Jets are perfect, and everybody's excited about this. The Jets aren't, but the rest of us as football fans, Robert Sala was probably not excited about this. Will the Jets play nice? Will the Jets play nice as a team and give
No.
NFL Films what they want? Meaning,
Reportedly, they didn't want to do it.
I know they didn't want to do it.
Nobody wanted to do
They
it,
didn't
so
wanna do
of
it.
course not.
so what are they going to do? Showcase Zach Wilson talking all the time, or is Aaron Rodgers going, I'm good?
So they're going to showcase some like dude you've never heard, like
or Zach trying to.
like Boof Bonser, the former Twins pitcher.
Yeah,
It'll be
those-
some guy named like that. Boof, you'd be like, I've never heard of this player ever again. He's like, he played at the Charles of Carlson, just trying to live his dream. The Jets took him in the 6th round.
The funny thing is, these teams don't want to do it, but they don't want to do it, but they all watch it. Like they don't want to do this, but what do teams set up in training camp doing? Watching this. People love the content of it. Jets don't want to do it, but they're going to be watching it. And that's a shame because this is a storyline we all want to see. So put on your best face. I'll watch this. The Jets are a very interesting team to me. Extremely interesting team to me because we don't know which direction they're going to be. We think they're going to be a great team. It's a great roster. They have the offense and defensive rookie of the year on their team from the same year. That's incredible. Great personality. Sauce Gardner's a fun personality. And now you got Aaron Rodgers there. I mean, it's just fun. That is a fun team to watch, an up-and-coming team. And a lot of teams are sitting around going, okay, how good are the Jets? And I think it's good for the Bills. I think it's good for the Chiefs. I think it's good for the Bengals.
Yeah, any
I
distraction.
think it's good for the Ravens.
Any distraction they got to deal with,
Any of them.
fine with me.
Because you don't know how good they're going to be. They could be great. It's a roster waiting for a quarterback, but these other teams can say, all right, what's going on with the Jets? There you go. NFL Films and HBO are showing you exactly what's going on in Jets training camp.
Has any team who's done Hard Knocks had a good year after?
Well, the Rams,
Chiefs
the Rams didn't win this. Did they win the Super Bowl right after that? Or was it 2 years removed? Because they shared it with the Chargers. It was during COVID.
Oh, that's right. They did make the 2 of them do it, didn't they?
And it was the combo.
So let's see. Last year, it was the Lions. They had a good year, but they didn't make the
It was a
postseason.
resurgent year for the Lions.
They didn't make the postseason. God, who's going to be the in-season team this year, by the way?
Oh,
Remember, they're doing that. They did the Cardinals last year and the Colts the
I
year
remember.
before.
And it was terrible.
I didn't
But
watch
I watched it.
It was the Cowboys the year before that in 2021. That didn't go great.
Yeah.
It was the Chargers and Rams in 2020. That would have been the year before they won it. So that's close. Then it was the Raiders, bad. Browns, bad. Bucks in 2017. That was before Tom got there, right?
Yeah.
So that's no good. Rams in 2016. Again, probably the Rams are the only team who seemingly can shake this. But that's not the surprising part. Most of these teams think you have to have not made the postseason if you are going to be mandatory put inside of this. Because again, that's the difference between these two. I'm interested. They will make me watch an episode, but I swear to God, if they don't show him getting like one ayahuasca treatment, then I'm out. Like I want one weird Aaron Rodgers thing, or I'm tuning out.
I
They
actually
don't show any of him. Then
I
I'm
love
tipping.
watching it. I actually think the Chiefs franchise, like I told you, I think it's just as good as Hard Knocks. To be honest,
It's really well.
like if you're a big fan,
I'm not saying that
of
just
what goes
because
on-
they put our voices. on
No,
it.
but the franchise is well done. I mean, the video, everything is well done with that. It's right up there with Hard Knocks.
Yeah, it's great. When we come back, the Royals have a second half to look forward to starting on Friday. We'll tell you which things we'll be watching for the most.
Cody and Gold.
Would I rather have my ween slammed in a car door? Or would I rather have my fingernails ripped off with a pair of needle-nose pliers? I don't know. I can't decide.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
It's never too late to change careers, and you can do that right now over at Centric.com/610. You've always been interested in technology, so why not start looking at classes that start at the end of July? You can sign up now and start looking for those career growth opportunities with better benefits, more flexible schedules, and put that GI Bill or other funding to use so you can finally be in a career you're proud of. Go to Centric.com/610 and see my guy Russ Mondry and find out what they can do for you.
My friends at Window World asked me to tell you about a very special auction benefiting Action for Autism. Action for Autism is a Missouri organization that provides therapy and learning for kids ages 2 to 21 to help them prepare for a successful future. You can bid on a whole home renovation worth $40,000. To place your bid, go to the Kansas City Chiefs website or windowskc.com. The bidding starts at $15,000. The auction will close on July 27th, and it's so easy to register. The renovation package includes windows, exterior wrapped, insulated siding, gutters, doors, and much more. Every penny of the proceeds go to Action for Autism. You can make a donation. If you choose not to submit a bid, all you need to do is go to windowskc.com for all the details. 1 out of 68 children born today are diagnosed with autism, and you can make a difference in these kids' lives by making a bid or a donation at windowskc.com today.
For the best barbecue in Kansas City, go to my favorite place, Smokehouse Barbecue. Smokehouse has been family-owned and operated for over 35 years, and they've become part of our family as well. From their tremendous ribs to their delicious burnt ends, Smokehouse has something for everyone. Plus, their hickory pip beans are world famous. So visit one of their 3 locations in Independence, Gladstone, or Zona Rosa, or place your carry-out and catering orders at SmokehouseBBQ.com. For the best in barbecue, it's my favorite, Smokehouse Barbecue.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands to treat ED at up to 95% off. That's right, the same active ingredient as the brand name for 95% less. It's the same ED medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
At the Home Depot, we have laundry appliances that just fit. Fit your space, fit your needs, and fit your budget. Like a new GE Profile Ultra-Fast Combo laundry machine that can wash and dry a large load in about 2 hours without you ever having to transfer the load over. Final days to get special buy savings like the GE Profile Ultra-Fast Combo laundry machine, plus an extra $100 off select laundry sets. In-store and online at the Home Depot ends July 12th.
Occupied!
Hurry up!
Go away! I'm enjoying my hot shower!
Yeah, we'd all like to. Hot water hog.
That's it. Family meeting.
We can all enjoy long, steaming, hot showers, even the last in line, which it seems is always me. But go ahead, have that imaginary argument of what you should have said. Take your time. With our new high-efficiency Navien tankless water heater, I'll never take a cold shower again. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com to learn more.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/JOY.
The biggest corruption scandal in NYPD history.
I love being that dirty mother.
Harlem in the 90s. 30 cops crossing the line.
Was it a common practice to break into apartments which were suspected drug locations?
Yes, for money, for drugs, whatever was in there.
The Set, a new Odyssey original podcast.
Who's gonna catch us? We're the police.
You got into the game back then, making money hand over foot. Listen to all 10 episodes of The Set right now, exclusively on the free Odyssey app.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Yeah, straight A student, but I'm friends with the cool kids. Following the rules and the rubric. Freestyle on the bus and it's too lit. Everybody like, hold down, who's this? Raising the stakes like
It's her JT holding down the music today, so if you got a request, I guess, hit him up. Bink has cracked open his first energy drink of the day.
Highly crushable.
I have never had a Monster energy drink in my life, Bink.
The hell's wrong with you?
Or a Bang energy drink. I've had some Red Bulls, I guess, back in those like early 20 days when you're drinking Red Bull and vodkas. And you'd be drunk at like 2:30 in the morning laying in your bed and wishing for death because you were so drunk and your heart was beating out of your chest.
Well, I shouldn't drink these at all, to be
I have
honest
two
with you.
kids?
I shouldn't drink these at all, but I don't like coffee. I've always thought that coffee would never be invented if energy drinks and refrigerators were developed earlier.
Oh, you're saying
it's just
if
so
people
much
had
easier to grab
invented
it.
energy
It's just so
drinks,
much easier to go grab one and
coffee
crack
would
it
have
open
never come around
and leave.
I like coffee.
Yeah, but it's a pain in the butt to make unless you stop.
Is it?
Unless you stop and spend $25 at Starbucks to get a coffee, you're good.
But how much
Just
is
energy drink?
What's an energy drink run if you just like you slide
All right,
by
2 or 3
and get in a quick trip? Couple of bucks?
$3, $3 or $4.
Okay. I don't think it's way off as you think, man.
This is cheaper than a coffee. Well,
cheaper than a
in what you
Starbucks
define-
coffee, sure. And depending, I guess, which one you get.
You got me all set up to go to Center Block next Friday for the
I do.
the auction. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, you're going to be good to go.
Prepare, Cinder Block.
Prepare for Binkley. And the
Prepare.
listener, Bruce, is who you will be.
Fire up some more of that Il Padrone. Our playoff Pilsner. Remember that?
Just give us time, man. Once.
No, I told
you know,
Cinder Block, just give him this morning.
Once-
Fire it up. We're coming next week. Coming next Friday.
From the 479, a bang would kill a 14th century peasant. It would just ruin their insides.
No, they probably.
His whole body would be like, what? I can't do this. No, dude, are you kidding me? They were just like straight up chewing on tobacco leaves back then. They'd be fine. They weren't even like processing it. They're like, what if I just chew on this opium leaf that makes me feel good? You're like, yep, they'd probably be fine. They would just be confused about everything else.
You used to do multiple of these a day. Now it's like one a week. Yeah, JT. Several.
That's insane.
Well,
I don't drink energy drinks.
Well, here's the
Do you
thing.
drink
man.
coffee?
I do not.
It's a PED.
No caffeine? You just live off of natural energy?
I go with water and sleep, I guess, yeah.
See, when you get older, JT, there's performance-enhancing drugs. No, I don't juice for these shows. There's no need for steroids. But is Monster a PED for this type of job? Yes.
Yeah, I drink
It is a sports radio type thing. I've
tea,
worked
coffee, whatever.
I've worked some crazy ass hours here.
Yeah.
So these come in handy.
This reminded me when
In the fact that they're in our building.
It's like
So-
driving for a living and you'd be like going through the middle of like nowhere, Nebraska at like 2 a.m. You're like sticking your head out the window. I would take those like yellow jacket, black and yellow trucker pills they sell at gas
Little
stations.
5 hour.
You want to see how those make you feel? Oh, God.
Like I'd mix 5
Like-
hours in with them.
Borderline hallucinating taking those things.
One day,
Dumb decision.
One day during the day shift, someone just delivered like a couple cases of these things to me.
Really?
Yeah. So I was
People
set
always-
up for a while.
In
Because
fairness-
Henry Lake had his muscle milk. I had my Monster.
Last for Nick's last show, anytime we ask the great listeners of the show, anytime we're like, hey, we need something, always come through. Last week, I had brought some beers, but not enough beers because I didn't realize that Nick was going to want to start drinking at like 9:45 in the morning. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I did not bring enough beers before we drink our J. Rieger cocktails later on in the show. So will someone bring us beer? In less than an hour, we had 24 ice-cold beers ready to roll.
Yeah.
We had some from Free State. We had some from just across the board. Just tons of
Well,
great.
usually I bring them in.
Four different types of beer. We
Me
were
and
good
Rob
to go.
Britton bring them in for the beers with
I didn't want
CDOT.
to sneak into your guys' stuff. I was kind of stuck there.
That's why those fans are the greatest. They listen and they come to prepare and save you.
They always come through. Always come through when we need them.
And one side note, I did read this morning and brought it here to my Anchor Steam Brew.
Yeah,
is going out of the steamed beer.
It's a bummer.
Someone's got to buy it. Someone's got to do it. Center Block, I'm looking at you. Make some damn steamed beer. Let's go. Let's go.
Make some steam
Make
beer.
some steam some beer for me.
Even though they've been around since like the founding fathers and they can't stay in business, but sure. Get into that business.
It's America's
steam
oldest
beer
craft brewery.
business. I know. Yeah, it's
Not the oldest brewery, that's Yingling.
Yeah, it's been
Oldest
around.
craft brewery.
I think it's like 100 or whatever years old.
You know, the
Obviously, I was
Royals were the first
exaggerating.
Major League team to have a craft brew sponsor.
Yeah, with
Because they had
Boulevard
two.
Brewing.
Because they had a major beer sponsor and then a craft beer sponsor. Now, a lot of them do, but they were the first ones.
Very smart.
The Chiefs were the first ones to use Gatorade. See, we got trendsetters in this town, man.
Heady business decisions. Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll get to producer thoughts with our guy JT back there. We gave Quentin a shot yesterday, so we'll give JT a shot as well.
Oh, by the way, side note, that damn Trey Hillman does exist. That CD. A lot of people thinking I was talking crazy or whatever. No, Trey Hillman has a Christmas CD. Was it Candy Canes and Christmas or something?
Yeah, it's real.
Fesco in the morning was talking about this morning because they saw your computer. And Fesco goes, for some reason, I get this, I can't read anything on here because it was in Japanese or whatever. Yeah. And it goes, they were looking at he goes, there's Trey Hillman CD. And so Clayton started talking about it. But it does exist. People thought I was taking crazy pills. But it does exist.
No, it's real. But
Candy Canes and Christmas.
The
Trey
only one I
Hillman.
could find for sale, they had already sold, and it went for like 1,700 yen. But I couldn't, that one was sold. So I can't hear the music yet until I can purchase one of the CDs. And the CDs are hard to come by.
What would that fetch for the garage sale? Hundreds.
Well, and that's the thing.
Thousands.
If someone can get their hands on this Trey Hillman CD, I will give you one of everything this show gets. Like if we get new T-shirts, you get one. If we're giving away, let's say we're going to do a ticketed event and we're going to give away some tickets as part of the show. If it's related to this show, not the station, but if it's related to this show, I'll hook you up. Get your hands on that Trey Hillman CD and we will talk. But coming up in 10 minutes, we'll get JT's producer thoughts here in just a second. But the Royals are obviously it's All-Star break bank. We know we just got done with the All-Star game yesterday, which means the second half of the season is here. And then the inevitable question for bad Royals teams exist, which is, what do you care about for the second half? Let's not say let's get sucked into the, what if they win more and we want to believe? I'm not there and I can't be there for the Royals right now because of how poorly it seems to be going right now. But there are still things they can do that at least I will pay attention to. There's two really big ones for me. One is the continued development of Bobby Wood Jr. He, over the last 6 weeks, has been a much better baseball player, a significantly improved
He's at over
baseball
300
player.
since June, isn't he?
Yes, and has a 350 on base percentage, and the power's come back a little bit. It seemed like to me what he had done was dial back the power numbers in order to fix some of the hole type stuff he was having with his swing. And now he's starting to feel comfortable swinging for the fences again. So he is their most important offensive player. I think I got a good handle on what Vinny Pasquantino is. And look, I want MJ Melendez to continue to improve. I want Nick Prado to continue to show signs. But Bobby Wood Jr. has to continue to develop into their best player. I want to, at the end of the year, to feel like Bobby Wood Jr. is their best damn player, and there's no question about it.
Prior to June, 228 average, 695 OPS. Since June 1st, 305 average, 810 OPS.
Yes.
He's walking more. His strikeout rate was almost 23%.
Which is way
before
too
June
high.
1st. Now it's at 16.4%. And his walk rate is 2 percentage points higher from 4.6 to 6.8.
He made a major adjustment.
That is
he
a
looks a lot
big time
better.
adjustment.
But for at the beginning of this year, a month into the season, I might have told you Vinny was their best player. He was certainly their best hitter. And I was like, okay, even Vinny, who came on with us last week, he had said, well, I'm really working to be great. He's like, but let's make no mistake about who the most talented player on the team is. It's Bobby Wood Jr. Like, even he's like, it's that guy. And nobody's been arguing this entire time he's their most talented player. But I used to argue that about Adalberto Mondesi. I never thought he was their best player. I want their most athletic player to be their best player.
I always thought he was. He just couldn't stay healthy.
The other guy, and I was going to say Daniel Lynch for this because I do think he's important for their success going forward, but I'm more worried about what Brady Singer does with his second half. Can he fix this? Can he fix his problems? Because Daniel Lynch, I feel like I'm on stable footing on for the first time in a long time with him, where I'm just going to let that thing ride itself out. But Brady Singer in the second half of the season, that's something I'm actually paying attention to, Bink. Those two are for me. I don't know if you have different answers, but those are the two that stand out for me that I'm focused on for the second half.
I want to see if Michael Garcia, I want to see if he's a stable into that mix with a Vinny and a Bobby Wood Jr. He's got like a 1.9 WAR, which is what, third highest among rookies. So Dave Holtzman had that out from Bally's. That's incredible. Let's see that develop. Bobby Wood Jr. 100%, because he is the draw. He is what you want to see. He is when you see Julio Rodriguez and what he's doing. Bobby's having a very similar, actually better year than what you see a guy showcased in the All-Star game. Team USA love Bobby Wood Jr. Love his. I just like this whole game. He is a fun player to watch. So that is something to go. And the number one thing I want to see, I want to see a winning streak, 3 games in a row. That is one thing I want to see post All-Star break. Can the Royals? They're 39 games under 500. They hit the plateau of 40 games under 500 Saturday.
Yeah.
Quickly brought that down to 39.
Congrats.
Can they go on a winning streak?
That's what you're paying attention
with 3
to.
games in a row, one time this year? That's the number one thing I want to see. But no, honestly, though, the Brady Singer, because can this guy be a stalwart in the rotation? Michael Garcia, can he keep growing with this team? Because I think he's on a great path right now. And then, of course, we would say Vinny and watching Vinny, but we can't with the injury. But seeing also seeing if MJ Melendez can turn it around. But
that's big, but it's also just like, I can't keep banking on that. I got other people to worry about.
You can't keep doing it.
Besides MJ Melendez.
But Garcia, do you consider Garcia a building block if they keep him?
I think he's got a good chance to be that, but he to me is like the Daniel Lynch. I feel like I'm on stable footing with him right now. I will certainly monitor what he's doing and pay attention to it, but he can't be my primary focus for the rest of the season. Those guys are Brady Singer and Bobby Wood Jr. because they need them so desperately to take that big leap forward that I have to be focused on them because they are of extreme importance to any kind of success they might monitor. From the 75, did Gold die? No, he'll be back tomorrow. Gold took some time off. I know he takes less time off than the rest of us, but Gold will be back.
And he's not sick.
Those are the 2 questions. Somebody asked in the text line, did Gold die? And somebody asked me on Twitch, do you think you could beat up Bink? And I said, no chance.
And he's not sick. Usually Gold, if he's gone, he's sick.
Yeah. No, he's fine. Well and good as far as I know.
Doing great. Leading prescription cough remedies.
Well, he did have to go on those steroids for a little while. He
got big.
We've said it before. I'm telling you right now, if Alex wanted to just absolutely crush it with any lady in the entire city, if he started working out and got kind of like a little bit ripped, just mildly ripped, and kept the beard all the time, he would clean up.
The beard, the women.
Just got a little ripped, kept the beard all the time. Gold could do numbers.
100% he could. Women love the beard. They love Alex's beard, but he keeps shaving it. It's like, dude, you look like a kid. I said, Alex, when you shave that, you don't look like a 30-year-old man. You don't. Put the beard on.
They want,
and the ladies will line up for you.
They don't want you to look 27.
But the women will line up with your beard. You start getting a little gray in it as you get older. Come on, Gold.
And then
why he's single? He has no beard.
Women,
look at Vern. He got a beard and got married.
Look, I can't grow a beard, so I've got no say here. But I'm assuming that the women you date like your beard.
Yeah, they say women do like beards. They do. It's one of the first things they like. They like beards.
They're like, oh, that's
I'm shocked, but women do like beards.
Of course they do. Makes you look distinguished.
Yeah, it makes you look smarter than you actually are.
And you keep it pretty clean, Bink.
Yeah, I get it trimmed up, I
was about to say, do you go to the barber to get it cleaned up?
Yeah, because I couldn't do this. I mean, it looked like crap if I did it. But yeah, when you're getting the head shaved around, they clean it up for you. Because I couldn't do this.
You don't think so?
No, I have to get it trimmed up. I'm a single guy on the prowl, I'm saying.
Keep it tight?
Yeah, when you're married, you just let the thing go. It doesn't matter.
You get a little bushier and you're not as
You can
worried
look
about
like
it?
ZZ Top. It doesn't matter how long that beard goes.
A lot of truth in that. One of these days, I'm going to figure out what the intern's current dating status is. But that time's for later. That's before.
I'm pretty sure
keep
that
them here
they,
for at least a month before we start getting that in.
I think they eat, sleep, and breathe sports. Or am I wrong, JT?
No, there's some space in between there. They definitely have to.
Well, Quentin, I don't know about Quentin because he was all
he might
about
eat, drinking, yeah.
focus. JT pretty much is too. So,
I mean, I put my focus on once I'm in the building and like put into work. But I mean, I also have some space.
So when you
for the
leave
head.
your ladies, man.
What?
So when you leave, you're like, put the collar up. And
Oh yeah, I gotta
put
get the collar on.
squirt
Got
it
the
in.
red Solo
The guy
cup
in
in my
his
hand.
early 20s. You think he's not out trying to date?
He just walks out the door. The Mahomes jersey comes off. The cologne goes on. And hello, ladies. I'm Cody and Gold's intern.
If I was going on a date, this isn't the outfit I wear out on a date. It's a different
What-
vibe.
Well, yeah,
I
that's
do.
true. You wouldn't wear that on a date.
You
But-
should.
But it's funny you say I was the producer for Cody and Gold. There was where I went to school, Raymore, Bekele, Ray Peck, they have this newsletter. And on their newsletter, they put JT Noah, a 2019 graduate, has been a guest on Cody and Gold and Fesco in the morning. And so my mom's like, "Oh, you're a guest. You're not even a producer. You're up even more even more than that."
This is breaking news in the show. We made a high school newsletter?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Ray Peck
Wow.
Panthers Bulletin?
All right. This is sending us straight to number 16. You know how you get 16th in this city, Bank? People start to recognize your work.
Especially the fine people very more
The
peculiar.
next step is to get into I have now gone to my high school Hall of Fame's induction ceremony twice for people I know. I got to get my ass on this list.
Are you in the Winnetonka Hall of Fame? yet?
No, that's what I'm saying. I've gone to the dinner twice because two people I know are in
You
it.
could be a Hall of
They
Famer.
are also far more accomplished and much more deserving of it. I'm not saying I'm even deserving of it. I'm just saying put me in it so we can raise this show's profile.
That ought to start being one of your MOs. Get Cody Gold in.
I'm gonna need you to submit. I'm gonna need you to submit me as a nomination. You know,
I should.
submit me.
There's some people out there. It's a great district. There's people in the district.
Yeah, submit me as a nominee.
North
Let's get
Kansas
this thing
City
done.
School District, the fine district of North Kansas City. By the way, Tonka was always our first game. Always bad. Yeah, back then. Staley wasn't around. It was always, Winnetonka, Northtown was the district.
That was pretty
Oak
common
Park.
during that time.
Oak Park just ran things, though.
Staley didn't exist when I
Oak
was in
Park
high
was
school
the
either.
Chiefs.
For what? For football?
Yeah, for years.
Tonka wasn't good at football. They were good at baseball during those years, during my high school years.
Winnetonka used to run the single wing. Do you know what that is? It's where you have two quarterbacks squatted down. You hike.
That's what they ran when you were playing them?
Absolutely.
Well, no
And you
wonder
hike
they
to
weren't
them, they
any good.
spin around. They're spinner backs. And so they get the ball, whether you have the ball or not, you spin around. And then the running backs actually usually lined up behind your offensive line and your fullback, and then you fake hand off to him, whatever. But Tonka ran the single wing.
Yeah.
Like through the 90s. We're not talking like 70s football here.
That's absolutely ludicrous behavior. Coming up in 10 minutes, baseball looks like it's ripe for expansion. But first, let's get some producer thoughts from our guy, JT.
All right. I got some thoughts for you guys. Now, obviously, none of us three, have seen the series yet, quarterback. I'm really intrigued on the outside of the field situation. Obviously, they'll have them mic'd up for the field, but I'm more curious about how they do their off the field and get into the home and their life situations. What are you most intrigued about with the quarterback series?
You know what? I think this will give us, for the Mahomes end, I'm pretty sure the one thing it'll accomplish is it'll give you a greater insight to just how competitive he is. We all know that. But even in the short clips I've already seen people post, because all 8 episodes are out. I can't get through all 8 tonight or today or whatever. I'm not off work. But like of the clip of him standing out, there's 2. So there's one where he's in the locker room and someone's like, hey, who do you think's going to win? And he's like, I think Cincinnati's a better team, but I definitely think Buffalo can win. And someone's like, well, who do you want to play? He's like, well, I think we match up better with Buffalo, but I want Cincinnati. He's like, we haven't beaten them, and I'm sick of them talking trash. So that's who I want. And you're like, okay, I like that. And then the clip of him with Max Crosby, we remember watching that on the field, but obviously he wasn't mic'd up at that time that we heard. And then you hear him like, you woke up the wrong mother. And you're like, okay, I like this attitude.
Hey, the dumb button here.
No, I didn't say it.
I know you didn't. But
Then they pull him back. They pull, like Andy's pulling him back. He's like, look, man, you got to calm down a little bit. Like, that had to be a lot, but you got to rein it in a little. So I'm guessing his competitiveness. I'm interested in the Kirk Cousins-Mariota dynamic as well, but I'm guessing that's what we'll get from Mahomes.
Like seeing Kirk Cousins at home in Mariota. Like Mahomes different, but I'm with Cody, man. I might mute it when Mariota's on because I don't care anymore.
You're not
But
interested?
Mahomes, I want to know like how competitive he is when he's putting, how competitive he is when he's playing darts, how competitive he's doing anything. He's one of those guys we say he'd be good at everything. If you played foosball with Patrick Mahomes, he would want to beat you. And if he didn't beat you, he'd be mad because he would want to beat you. I don't know if he can play things just for fun because he always wants to win, and I like that with him. But I like the on-the-field dynamic, and I love seeing their relationship with Reid. Sometimes when Andy Reid has to kind of reel him in to calm down.
Yeah.
Because there was clips of that, too, when he's, getting fired up, and, he reels him in, calms it, or he wants to play hurt, right? And he was telling Andy Reid he wants to go back into the game when he hurt his ankle. Like that whole dynamic between him and Reid is
throwing the clipboard down,
very interesting.
F-bomb.
But just his football acumen and how he gets along with the play, but his ultimate competitiveness. Because this is watching Michael Jordan, that competitive. Yeah. Some guys have it and some guys don't. Like Justin Herbert, I don't think has this.
No.
And Josh Allen, maybe to some extent, but Joe Burrow has it. Patrick Mahomes has it. Joe Montana had it. Peyton Manning had it. Tom Brady had it. And there's a lot of guys that were good, good to great players, elite players, but they didn't have it. They don't want to cut your heart out. And he does. And Andy Reid's got it. There's just some guys, 1 or 2 rings. They want more. They could care less. We'll talk about this one. It's like Ned Yost. You ever going to celebrate this World Series? People kept asking him. He will when he retires. That's the mindset. J.J. Watt. They interviewed him a few years ago because he goes and works out all the time. He didn't go out and drinking beers and stuff like that with the guys and stuff like that. And they had kind of asked him, when are you going to do it? He goes, I got plenty of time when I retire. Meaning, when I'm playing, it's football, and this is what I want to dominate and be great at. I have plenty of time for everything else once I retire. That's kind of Mahomes does everything in just his life and how busy he is, but how he compartmentalizes from his endorsements.
And smart.
Well, look at this this week. You got the Netflix series that opened this week. The ESPYs is tonight. You get the Reno Tahoe Open going this weekend. He's got training camp beginning next week. I mean, there's a lot of the ring ceremony. There's a lot of events. Kelsey was at the premiere. He'll be in Reno with him. He'll be at isn't Kelsey doing something with the ESPYs tonight? Because they were showing, he was had a microphone in front of him. So, he's just as busy as Patrick. But just how busy their life is off the football field and how they were some guys can't do it. They can. So I'm interested in how he kind of compartmentalizes different things.
You got one more for us, JT?
Yeah, I definitely do. I was also going to mention, I can't wait to see the Kirk Cousins, the video of him wearing the chain on the plane.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a very good
yes.
episode. My second, I had 3, but I'll get to my last one. The NBA added 2 new rules. I didn't know if you guys saw this, but they added 2 new rules to this season. One is if they successfully get the challenge right, they finally get a second one, which I think is smart by the NBA. And then the second is in-game flopping. They're finally going to try to tone down on the flopping in the NBA.
So they did all the fine stuff with that for a while, and it didn't seem like it moved the needle. I wonder if the NBA just has to accept it like soccer does. Soccer's just like, this is part of who we are, and deal with it. And sorry. Like, they don't even, the borderline don't even apologize for it. They're just like, this is a part of the sport. I know that it looks like this guy is writhing in pain, like he's falling apart at the seams, but he'll stand up. He'll get a cold spray. He'll be up, and there'll be no thing. I don't know if the NBA just needs to lean into it, because right now the deterrent measures they're putting in haven't really made much of a difference. I don't know if a free throw is going to do it.
Yeah, one free throw, and the other team still keeps the ball. So, okay, the team that flops, you're going to get the other team gets the free throw, but the team that had the ball gets the ball back. It's like, wow, 1 point really going to make a change for flopping? Like, I don't know how they feel about that one.
Flopping's an issue, but not only that, JT, we're starting to see it in other sports, too. We saw it with the Chiefs. So with the Bengals flopping. Wasn't it Jesse Bates that flopped after a play? I mean,
oh, yeah.
The flopping is.
You remember when Creed Humphrey
The flopping is gone. What's that?
You remember when Creed Humphrey flopped?
Oh, yeah.
And everyone thought Patrick Mahomes flopped on that push out of bounds, and I'm like, yo, y'all got to chill. That was not a flop, but.
No, if you watch the video, he's just trying to
and
make
then
sure
defining
he didn't get hurt.
Right, and he got tripped a little on the feet.
Yeah, what is a flop and what isn't? That's always the hardest thing to determine.
And it's a bang-bang play, so it's always hard to determine if it was a flop or not.
Just call it the Marcus Smart rule.
Well, in soccer and basketball, yeah, but in football, it's harder to tell when it's a flop.
Well, because it's a very dangerous, violent sport. And they don't have a problem with it because you're getting hit enough for real. Quarterbacks are really the only people you're worried about doing it at that stage. And they're not going to do anything about it
kickers
at this
do it all the
stage
time.
to fall.
Punters especially.
Well, they're the only people who have to train for it. That's why. The rest of it is very different, and you know that.
But it does make a difference if you get the call.
I just don't feel like it's going to change the way the NBA works. That's our producer thoughts with JT. We'll give him another chance next week as well. I think he's going to fill in for us here over the next few weeks a little bit. But when we come back, Baseball is ripe for expansion, and Binkley already has his top 3 cities for it. We'll do those next.
Cody and Gold.
Hey, it's Vinny Pasquantino. Even though I have a real beef with Nick, tune in to Cody and Gold weekdays starting at 10 o'clock right here on 610 Sports Radio.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Make purchasing your home fast and easy with a low fixed rate in the 5s from Cap One Lending. We offer 0 down payment, approvals in an hour, and no payments for 2 months. Call Cap One Lending, 816-905-1111. That's 816-905-1111. Or apply at caponelending.com. What could be better than 100% loan programs with 0 down payment, approvals in an hour, and no payments for 2 months? Your first step to homeownership is knowing you're already approved with a 5-star rated lender. Call Cap One Lending now, 816-905-1111. That's 816-905-1111. Or apply at caponelending.com. That's caponelending.com.
Cap One Lending, making your dreams a reality is what we do.
Cap One Lending, a Kansas licensed mortgage company, license number MC0026341, NMLS of Missouri license 2468614. Programs and rates subject to change without notice.
American Topsoil, serving the Kansas City area for over 30 years. Locally owned, 4th-generation family business. With us is owner James Priggle and Josiah. Josiah, tell us about some of the services you guys offer.
We've done it all, from filling up raised garden beds to spreading and grading topsoil around a newly poured patio or driveway. Our most popular service is helping homeowners preserve the life of their home by placing soil around their foundation using our power wheelbarrow service.
James, tell us more about this.
Gravity doesn't take a day off. If you walk around your foundation, you might see some soil around your foundation is dropped. That might indicate that you need to regrade around your foundation. If you're getting water puddling or coming into your basement, you probably need topsoil.
And where do people need to go to learn more about American Topsoil?
You can visit us online at americantopsoil.com.
There's videos on there, and there's an online order form.
One name to remember in Kansas City if you need topsoil. American Topsoil. Online at americantopsoil.com.
Hey guys, Beat Up here from Fesco in the Morning, wrapping up week 6 of the Slim for Life program. New journey that I'm on, and man, I'm telling you, I'm loving every bit of it. I am down 44 pounds in just 6 weeks. 44 pounds in just 6 weeks. 4th of July holiday just passed, and guess what? I was still able to eat all the regular food that I normally do. Threw some smoked chicken on the grill, some steak, some salmon. Man, it was amazing. So what are you waiting for? You ready to jump on this journey with me? Take off that extra 20, 30 pounds that's been bugging you? Well, make that call right now. Set up that free consultation. Go ahead, make that call to my girl Leanne at 119th and Metcalf, the Overland Park location, and she will get you taken care of. And right now, when you tell her that you heard it from Beat Up and 610 Sports Radio, you get 90 days for only $90 and lose up to 60 pounds. All services included, exclusive of products. Go ahead, make that call today. 833-SLIM today, 833-754-6863, or online at slim4life.com. Tell them Beat Up from 610 Sports Radio sent ya.
It's too hot to cook. Make it easy with Old Shawnee Pizza and their Wednesday BOGO special. Buy any medium one-topping pizza and get the second medium one-topping pizza free. Go to ShawneePizza.com to order for pickup, delivery, or eat in. Old Shawnee Pizza, 2 locations.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Where are we on the lineup?
It's official. Avery is producing Main Street Music Days.
We need to be ready. We're going to have lots of people. What's the status on the new sound engineer?
They need an audio technician to keep things level from sound checks to encores.
Make sure audio from one stage does not compete with another.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Imagine buying a pair of sneakers and getting a soothing, gentle foot massage like you'd get during a relaxing pedicure just by walking. You might think this sounds too good to be true, but we think it sounds like Skechers' new Massage Fit sneakers. Because Skechers, the comfort technology company, has designed a unique innovation that makes it feel like you're pampering your feet with a gentle massage in every step. The secret is Skechers' new patented wave technology on the sole that gently massages your feet while you're walking around. It feels amazing and is so gentle you can wear them all day just like your other favorite Skechers sneakers. And not only will you be getting the massage, you'll also be getting Skechers' other famous comfort features, like a special luxury insole that offers extra support for 24/7 comfort. Plus, they come in a variety of fashionable styles, including lace-up and slip-ons, and they're machine washable for easy care. Get a bonus massage in every step with Skechers' new Massage Fit. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. Donate on 610sports.com to the Let's Play Sports Equipment Drive, presented by Pinnacle Bank, benefiting the Urban Youth Academy. Thank you for all your support. 610 Sports Radio, KCSB Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app.
Bartender, I really did it this time. Broke my parole to have a good time. When I got home, it was 6 a.m. The door was locked,
Back in here on
so
Cody
I
and Gold.
kicked it in.
Cody
She was
Tapp.
tripping on the bed.
Jay Binkley with you. JT on the other side of the glass. Pete Sweeney just stopped by. He's already gone.
With a very, very large dog.
Good sized dog.
I'd say it's at least 200-pound dog.
You think it's that big?
I mean, that's like a miniature horse, how big that dog is. That's a big dog. Should put it on the camera for people. Pete's
Well,
dog.
tell Pete to come back. I was trying to get a better look
It's
at
a very
it.
nice dog, too, because I said I was going to pet the dog, and the dog held his paw out like to shake my hand.
You think
Like dapping, and he gave me a little dap.
You think the people in the video stream want to see Pete's
I think they do.
large dog?
I think they want to see
I think
Pete's
this
dog.
was his girlfriend's dog before they moved in together. So now this
Let me
is
grab him. I'll grab him.
their dog, right? Well, I mean, if we have these cameras, there's really no point in not taking advantage of the opportunities above us, which is, allowing people to see what Pete's rather large dog looks like.
And while we're waiting for the dog, I wanted to give a shout out to Ben from Iowa, who was the one that suggested the song Bartender by Rehab, thanks to Bink's little tangent about energy.
It worked out perfect. Might as well lean into the theme of the day. So thank you, text line, as always, for suggesting the music. Is he already gone, Bink?
He's gone. You get to call him out because he guarantees he's got his radio on. He'll probably hear you if you say something.
Wait, so
he left. He took that dog and ran.
What was he in here for?
I don't know what
Like
he
he
was
came in here
for.
just to show us the dog? I've met the dog. It was at
He
his
might have
house
just
when
come in
I
here to
went
show
there
us
a
the
couple
dog.
weeks ago.
Was he meeting with Spec? Maybe he did that. I don't know.
Huh.
Hey, Bink, I want you to understand. You said a 200-pound dog?
It's a good-sized dog.
That's a huge dog.
I mean, I bet he's close to 200-pound dog.
I think it's probably like 130, 140-pound dog.
That's a big
It's
dog,
not
man.
Marmaduke that came in through here. It wasn't an actual moose.
We got the Clifford, the
text
big red
Pete.
dog.
I'll text Pete and say, get back in here.
All right,
and get
I'm
that dog.
guessing 135, 140 pounds.
Glad you saw the dog. I didn't see it. So I just saw Sweeney come in, and I didn't see a dog with him.
I mean, it was right under the window. God, so if it's not even big enough to really
The
for you to
dog's
see
bigger
it.
than Pete.
It's a big dog, yes. But I don't think it's a 200-pound dog, no.
200 pounds is almost like 30 pounds less than me. There's no way.
I just feel like it'd have to be like a great I don't know. I just feel like there's only certain kinds of dogs that could even fall into that category.
Pete's saying only 95.
No way.
There's no way.
Only 95, that dog? No way. No chance. I don't believe that.
No way.
95? I would have guessed 130. 95?
I mean, I've seen 130, 140-pound dogs. That dog's bigger.
He's not bigger than that. I just didn't think he was, I don't know. 95 still seems light.
Bink's energy drinks are getting to his head.
He's a big dog, man.
But not 200 pounds.
That's one of the bigger dogs I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a big dog.
Honestly.
Now this is going to distract us for the rest of the show. Thanks, Pete, for bringing your dog by. It was good to see
Pet
her.
the dog, man. The dog's like, man.
What was the dog's name?
Solly, or it wasn't Salad, but something like that. But the dog just shakes your hand. You didn't have to ask it to shake. Just does it.
Nice. Look, man.
Very smart dog.
Just trying to be friendly. That's all. That's all that matters. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll get you to the trash of the day. But first, baseball looks like they're heading in a good direction just generally. And I think this is why they're looking to expand, Bink. Because if you look at what they've done just this year alone, I think what they want to do is capitalize on the opportunity because I don't know if you saw the report. So we know attendance is up across baseball, even though the game itself is not being played differently, just being played faster.
2 Saturdays ago was like a record for Saturdays.
Baseball's average age of the person attending a baseball game went down a full 3 years.
Now that's the big one
this year. And I'm telling you the reason why is because more families were willing to take their kids out there because if you go to a 7 o'clock game now, Bink, even on a school night, if you go to a 7 o'clock game, you could stay for 7 innings and be gone by 9. Sometimes later, right? I mean, some version of that just crosses the borders. So it's just like, I think that they're trying to capitalize on it. But you already have ideas of the cities you want them to expand? Because this does feel like a good time for baseball to take advantage.
Well, the NBA said they, when things settle down, they're going to expand. And probably expand to 2 more cities. I wish we'd hear the NHL say the same thing. Vegas is going to happen. We know it's going to happen. But there seems to be some hiccups with the A's, doesn't it? It seems like every time you look, there's like a snag. But that will get done. Like the A's will be in Las Vegas. So take them out of the equation. Obviously, I thought baseball would have been – actually, I thought the NBA would be first in Vegas, and I thought baseball would be 2. I didn't think the NHL and NFL would beat those 2 sports to Vegas. I think Nashville – It's the Trinity town. That's where everybody goes.
Sure.
At this point, this is where it's a town like Vegas, full of people that aren't even from Nashville. Like Vegas, they're from all over the country. Go there for, be the next star. It's Nash Vegas, but Nashville for sure. I would say Charlotte. I'm leaning heavily towards Charlotte as well. They always seem to be at the cusp of that. Needs to be some more teams up there. You think about that North Carolina, South Carolina area. You get to go down to Atlanta. Got a team there in D.C. But I think Charlotte, North Carolina makes the most sense to me.
I mean, I guess I could see that because they don't really have much baseball that way. But, I mean, Portland is definitely going to be on the list. I think it's a good time for baseball to do it because right now they're working ahead on some stuff. And if they want to keep attracting some of this younger audience in these things, they're going to need to keep ahead of this, Bink. By the way, the dog's name is Sully.
And by the way, the 785 says their English Mastiff weighs 215. See, I'm not crazy about dogs, but Pete's lying about that dog.
I just posted a photo from the 610 Twitter account. You tell us what you think.
And text me saying, I don't think Bink realizes how big a 200-pound dog is. Here's somebody with a 215-pound dog.
Yeah, dude, but Mastiffs are big. They're round. This dog's kind of skinny still. It's just tall.
I don't know, man.
I think it's a tall dog. It's the Alex Gold of dogs.
That dog walked Pete.
It doesn't weigh that much. It's skinny and tall.
But that dog walked Pete. Because I just see this Pete like with this leash through the window, like dog is walking Pete.
Yes, of course. And I just think that when, I still don't think it's a 200. I thought it was like 120, 130-pound dog. But apparently it's a 95-pound dog, according to Pete. Silly. And I sent out a picture so you can take a look for yourself. Although I think it makes a dog look shorter because it's sitting. It doesn't make the dog look as impressive because nobody knows how tall it is to get to our on-air sign, right? So either way. I think that the reason why expansion is important for baseball, Bink, is that I think I'm assuming that every other sport is going to be as smart as baseball now. And I've not said about baseball in a long time, so I just want to make that clear. I normally think baseball is old and dated and does not think these things through. Every other sport has got to look at the age demographic of the people attending their games dropping by 3 years, Bink, and the games being shorter and attendance being up, and they just increased beer sales to later in the game to make up the difference there. I assume every other sport is going to wisen up and try to figure out how to shorten their game. They should. College football needs to knock a whole ass hour off of their product.
The hell they do.
Bink, come on. You're not the right person to answer this. Yeah, I guess you'll watch a 5.5-hour national championship game.
Yeah, right.
Nobody else
get it all
wants
year.
to watch that.
We have a couple months.
I'm telling you right now, I love football, and the biggest deterrent for me from getting into college football is the length. I am unwilling to commit 4.5 hours for a single college football game. It's too damn long. It's the longest sport in the entire United States. It's longer than basketball, Major League Baseball, the NFL. Hell, an NFL overtime game takes less than a single college football game. What are they on average? 4.5 hours at this point?
Yeah, it always cracks me up when they have windows. They have a game at noon. And come on, man. That game's not going to be over in time for that. You're going to have to put it on your alternate channel. You see all the time. Hey, the game will be on ESPN2, or the game will be aired on ESPNU, right? That's where these games go. And then it's like the second quarter, almost halftime before they get moved over to where they originally supposed to be. But I think baseball is getting younger. That's why one thing about
That's
Vegas.
why they should expand. Get ahead of that.
And Vegas
Make the game
seems like
faster. Get new markets.
Vegas seems like a town, with younger people going to it.
Vegas
Like
getting
Vegas
a team anyway.
Vegas seems. What's that?
I said Vegas is going to get a team anyway.
No, they are.
got
But
Oakland.
Vegas seems like that kind of town. Also too, as far as baseball trying to reel back their demographics. One of the things is, in the generation that was going to baseball games, late 50s and the 60s and 70s, they don't like apps, and they want an actual ticket, and they want to pay with cash. And you would think at some point, it's hard to do.
You can't cater to those people. You got
I
to be
know.
like, sorry, you don't.
But that was
sorry,
your
you want
audience.
a ticket.
But
Yeah.
that was your audience. That's why it's trending younger, because those people said, "We're good. We're out." But eventually, you're going to get younger people that become older. So, but Vegas seems like one of those cities, Vegas, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Nashville makes sense.
Nashville makes probably the most
Portland
sense.
is already pre-approved funding for it from their city government, so it's like they could very easily put something in theirs. I'm just saying, like,
What about Hawaii? We put a franchise in Hawaii somewhere.
Sure, I don't think you'd have any trouble recruiting players to go play there.
How about put a damn franchise in Hawaii? No one ever talks about like Honolulu getting a team.
It's the travel. It's
Who
impossible.
cares?
It's super inconvenient.
Yeah, of course it's
Which
inconvenient, but it's
sport-
fun.
Which sport expands first? The NBA, Major League Baseball, or the NFL?
NBA.
You think NBA is going to be baseball to it?
I
'Cause
think
you should
it'll
try
be
to
right. I think the timeline will be similar. Then I think the NHL. I think the NFL would be last. But here's the thing with the NFL.
NFL can be last. They're already king.
Yeah,
They don't
they're
have to
fine.
work
They bring in the money, but I have to wonder if they're think about the talent. Because you always say, where's the talent pool big enough? But then you look and say, okay, we have an XFL going, a USFL going, a ton of XFL and USFL guys are getting camp invites. There's a ton of guys that play those leagues that are going to training camps this year. Now, the quality of play isn't that good. I get that. But you think, okay, is the talent pool there? Can you fill two more rosters of players? And when you got two of these leagues on the outside,
The
plus
answer
the
is
Canadian Football League.
usually no.
And
but
they keep expanding to overseas. Like, I mean, it was a couple years ago. SMU had like 6 guys from like Germany. Like, it's the sport of football is growing. And the NFL is trying to. It's why the Chiefs have marketing rights in Germany. They've got them in Mexico. They have them in like Austria, Switzerland. I mean, every NFL team has different countries. The Chiefs are like everywhere. Austria, Switzerland, these places they won't play because the NFL is marketing their product wherever. I just think there's going to be an opportunity eventually to expand the NFL. And don't give St. Louis anything more. Once they've lost 2, stop. Don't even bring up St. Louis.
Second baseball team. They sure.
No, I'm talking football.
No, God, don't.
I was talking football here. You get me talking football.
No.
Sorry.
They had multiple chances. If you've lost a team more than once, I'm not entertaining you anymore. You don't get a team anymore. Try to hold on to one for once.
Well, I can't say that. 2, yes. You're saying 2.
2.
But 1, you're
You
fine
can lose
with.
one. You lost the Kings.
Okay.
I'm not saying you
We
can't have
lost,
another
we lost
NBA
the
team.
A's.
Yeah, but it's been
The
a
Kings.
long time.
Still lost them.
But if they lose
Scouts.
But if they lose the Royals, then it's like, I mean, what am I supposed to do here? You've now lost 2 professional baseball teams. That's why they're going to build a downtown stadium. They're not going to go anywhere anyway. Coming up in 5 minutes, we'll get you to the trash of the day. But Binkley, yesterday we spent some time talking about the Chargers and their decision on Kellen Moore and why we think that it could help improve their offense. I think you're more optimistic than me. But it drove you and I into an off-air conversation about Sean Payton. There's an article up at the Ringer, too, talking about it, essentially just asking the question I think we're all asking. Can Sean Payton save Russell Wilson's career? You know, he's taking a massive legacy risk by walking into Russell Wilson's situation, especially considering, Bink, I don't think this was the job he actually wanted. I think he found out that there were other people who wanted different jobs that weren't that one. What are you looking at?
The siren's going again.
Well,
and once is enough, man. 2 times.
They're really trying to make sure
people start
everything's
freaking out a little bit, especially when it's like cloudy. Well, I guess there's some clouds. Yeah, twice. So that's what freaked me out. I was like, it's weird. No sirens again. The hell's going on in Johnson County? But anyway, yeah, it's weird. Do you hear them?
A little bit.
It's blaring. But this is the second time today they've been going on. Yeah, Sean Payton is
I don't think he wanted this job. I think he took this job. Does that make sense?
But there was not a ton of opportunities because you're looking at 32. And it's going to Denver. Denver, a well-respected organization, despite the fact they can't beat the Chiefs in the last 15.
No ownership.
But it is. I mean, that is a football town. As much success as they have with the NBA just winning one, the Avalanche just won last year, as much success as they have with other sports, they didn't get the World Cup, by the way. Kansas City took it from them. But it's a big sports town. It's a good sports town. But they like football. Like, football is still top in Denver. So you're going to a good franchise, a proud franchise, and there's not many opportunities to do it. It's not like he went to the Cardinals. This is with the Denver Broncos. Look at the challenges, okay? He's walking into a situation where Patrick Mahomes is in your division. You have to play him twice a year. Andy Reid has won this division 7 straight years. The Chiefs own this division. So that's one. Like, that's one big challenge for Sean Payton. Second, he's with Russell Wilson. So
Who
if
was
he has,
so bad last
So if he
year.
has one hand tied behind his back, now he's got 2. If he can come out of this and win games in this division with not only Mahomes, but you got Justin Herbert to deal with too. So there's 4 games right there automatically, and you'll play other teams. They'll play other teams too. They'll play Aaron Rodgers and all that. But 4 teams automatically you're playing, or 4 times every year you're playing either Mahomes or Herbert. That's guaranteed. In a division with the Chiefs, you're going to have Mahomes. Mahomes will outlast Sean Payton in Denver. I mean, seriously. Even if he decides to coach, 6, 7 years, but Mahomes is still going to be here. So his whole career, he's going to be dealing with Mahomes to his east.
Yes.
They're going to get to know each other very, very well.
What are the odds, Peyton? I mean, how good of a coach would you have to be to get yourself out of this situation, though?
But ego.
He's the
ego runs amok.
No, I don't even think it's that. I think it's legitimately he wanted to get back into coaching. He thought everyone was going to come begging. I think he thought everyone was going to be like, "Oh, please, Sean, we need you. You're our guy." And then he woke up to an NFL that's like, "Yeah, man, we're fine. There's like other people. They can coach. We're not that hung up on it."
He did what Brian Belichick.
And then there was like one dude. Well, Brian Billick's a perfect example of that.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to be Brian Billick.
Brian Billick is a Super Bowl champion head coach who has just as good of a record
Who never went the
as
retread
Sean
route.
Payton, who never got another job ever again.
It's crazy.
Because people will get hung up on this, but he thought that there were going to be people just lining up at the door for his ass. And that's not what happened.
And he didn't even get suspended for a year.
And all of a sudden, he had to take the worst job. This was the worst job available because you have to be in the AFC West. You have no quarterback unless you can just turn Russell Wilson around.
I mean, you should have
New
one.
ownership. This is, I mean, it's not even just Mahomes in your division.
Not dealing with
Herbert?
Elway as much anymore.
Yeah. What if the Raiders get quarterback right in the division once? I mean, it's just like, it's a terrible position to be in. I don't think he can save them.
Would you rather be the head coach of the Chargers, the Raiders, or the Broncos?
Me?
If you had to pick one of them.
I would choose any team that is over the Broncos right now. Look, I understand they're a stable organization throughout their history. That is an impossible. You cannot win there right now. At least with the Raiders, I could say, all right, I'm in Vegas. There's going to be resources. People are going to be attracted to coming here. There's no state income tax. In Vegas, the only thing is, can I make this team the worst team in the NFL so that I can go get Caleb Williams? Right? That's all I'm trying to figure out. How can I be bad enough that Caleb Williams or Drake May or one of these other guys
And
available
they'll
to
never
me?
be that bad.
And I hope I'm good. I hope I get that right when the quarterback decision's on me. Because it's probably not Aiden O'Connell or whoever the hell. What is that his name? The kid they took in like the 4th round. It's not him. That's probably not the guy. So that would be my focus. At least there's like a path out. Denver has no cap. They don't have enough draft picks. Their defense is getting older.
It's the pressure.
I mean, I would choose the Chargers second if you were going to let me head coach anybody because at least I get Justin Herbert.
I think it's the most pressure for a head coach going into the first year. I'm not talking about pressure on a head coach to keep his job, but to walk into a situation, at least the last 2 decades, right? Would you say? When you put all the factors of Mahomes and Reid, the factor with Russell Wilson, let's ride, doesn't have the command of the locker room that you maybe want. But here's the thing. Like a Doug Peterson goes to Jacksonville. No, not as much expectations at all going there. You go to the Denver Broncos, a little bit different expectations. People are expecting things different. And the thing about the NFL is you can't fail for long because we've seen so many teams that were bad that turn good. Because the NFL, you have no excuses. The good ones win. The Kansas City Chiefs had the first pick in the NFL draft in 2013. Andy Reid's first year, he takes the team that was the worst team I've ever seen play any sport in Kansas City, the 2012 Chiefs, with everything that went on. He took that team, which, by the way, did not even have a lead in the football game, with Brian Dable. Who's now, of course, for the Giants.
Yeah.
They were being compared to the 1927 Buffalo Bison because they didn't have a lead 9 weeks into the season. He takes that team, goes to playoffs the next year, and starts the next year 9-0. Like, you think about the greatness Andy Reid's done with Patrick Mahomes and stuff. Take that 2013 team that he took in Kansas City that picked first on the clock. That's how bad it was. And he takes them to the playoffs. And he starts off, 9-0 that year? I mean, it was insanity how good that he was during that time. But the NFL proves you can do it. I don't care how bad you were. You can do it the next year. And you know what? He did it really without that elite quarterback. I mean, you bring in a good quarterback, but not elite. But the NFL, there's no excuses anymore. Like, he's walking, like Doug Peterson in Jacksonville. If Jacksonville wasn't good last year, they'd given him a chance because that team is so down. If he just showed some progress, they would make it. He makes the playoffs and wins the playoff game. In the vault, now there's expectations. But what Sean Payton's walking into,
it's a trap, dude.
That is the most pressure that I've seen on a head coach going. And again,
well, he knows that if he does this, he's never coaching. He's not a head coach anymore.
Listen, there's pressure. Like Mike McCarthy's got pressure because you're with the Dallas Cowboys and all that. I get it.
Sure.
But with this situation with Russell Wilson, the fact you have Mahomes in your division and Herbert, and you haven't beaten the team that's won 7 straight titles the last 15 times you've played.
That's not going to help.
And the quarterback of that team has never lost to you and won his first game against you and got put back in the game because Tyler Bray kept fumbling it and beat you for his first divisional. And he's 16-0 in divisional road games in Mahomes. That's a ton of pressure Sean Payton walked into.
Did you see, by the way, the ESPN? We'll get to Trash Day a little bit later on. Did you see the ESPN article about Dan Snyder that mentioned?
I did.
They did very. We can talk about it later in the show.
That was War and Peace, man. It was so long.
Oh, dude, it was so long. But there's a lot of interesting parts of it because essentially it's just like, well, everyone in the NFL is trying to save their own ass and will backstab each other, and there's a lot of that, and that's not surprising to us. But there was one Sean Payton mentioned. It was when John Gruden got fined for breaking all the COVID era violations. He got fined like $150,000, and the team got fined $500,000 for disobeying it. And Mark Davis offered to pay it for him, and the league's like, no, it's gotta be John Gruden. He has to pay it. And then there's an exchange quoted in the story where Sean Payton is like, yeah, the rest of us didn't pay that. You're the only dumb F, is what he put it, who actually paid the fine. And you're like, oh my God. So I guess Sean Payton might owe the NFL some money. By the way, that quote is not going to be helpful. I feel like somebody in the NFL ledger book is going to be like, yeah, okay. Time to go fire up. Let's find out who hasn't paid a fine. Is also that a choice? Like, if you just don't pay these fines, does the NFL care?
Yeah, they're going to call Sean Payton out? Exactly.
I don't understand how
that
this
150
works.
G's from Sean Payton now?
I would think you would want
He's
it.
like, whoa, what the hell, man? You got snitching. That's a snitch.
Well, especially because those fines at that time were going directly to charitable organizations. The money Gruden had to give went to, like,
so Sean Payton owes
area
150
Las
G's.
Vegas charities. Like, there's some, like, homeless shelter without $150K because Sean Payton's holding out.
I think Chiefs fans need to remind him that when the Broncos come here.
Hey, the first week after the first game for Sean Payton, he gets back in after a loss, and he gets a letter. Hey, you still owe us money, you dumb effer.
It's so funny. Dude, it's so funny. I feel like there's just no choice now. He's got to figure out a way to. They're going to come back for that money now. If he actually never paid it, maybe he's just doing like, it's like it's locker room stuff. You're like, oh man, I'm a badass. I didn't even pay that, and he did. But if he didn't pay it, and I were the NFL and I read that story, I think I'd be on it. When we come back, there's more on Kadarius Toney, not on the stuff he's doing on Twitter, but an article that's suggesting they are counting on him in one particular way. We'll do that next.
Cody and Gold.
Gold, I want a new weekly segment for you called The Steam Room.
But you got to do it shirtless.
That's Cody's request.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
If you're looking for a career change, there is only one place to look in the city. Centric. Centric.com/610 can head you on that path to finding out what your new career in IT can look like. You know, you've been interested in IT across the board. You've been thinking, what am I going to do to get out of this career that I don't like? Where do I go? Where do I start? Well, they have classes starting at the end of July, which means you can get into a new class at Centric and start that career in IT. Doesn't matter if you want to do Amazon Web Services, if you're thinking about security training. There are so many different career options inside of it. We have them in radio. They have them in sports. It doesn't really matter the field. If you need a new career in IT, Centric can provide that for you. I was just talking to my nephew last night at dinner who went to Centric and has a new career in IT as a result of going there. These are the kind of things that you can do when you're going there. So go to Centric.com/610. Find out for yourself what our guy Russ Mondry can do for you. Tell Cody and Gold sent you. Tell him to walk you through the financing options with Sally Mae or the GI Bill. You can find all of those things in the 1,500 companies they work with. Go to Centric.com/610 today.
The other place with 3 great Kansas City locations, Shawnee, Olathe, and downtown Overland Park, is the perfect place to wind down after a tough day at work. Go grab yourself something to drink, go sit out on the patio, have some amazing food, and catch the game. For all your summer fun, be sure to stop by the other place.
You're always better with a roof from JR. We've all seen them. As soon as the big storm comes through, the storm-chasing roofers show up. Don't be a victim twice. Call locally owned, veteran-owned JR & Company. No one protects your home and you like JR. JR's there for you. You're always better with a roof from JR. In fact, JR & Company can let you know if you even need to be worried about storm damage. Online, visit jrhailcheck.com. Plug in your address and we'll pull a storm report. If there's nothing on the report, we'll give you hassle-free peace of mind. And if it looks like you got hit, we can come out and do a free inspection and help with any insurance claim. We'll never try to sell you a roof you don't need. But if you do need a new roof, you're always better with a roof from JR. Go to jrhailcheck.com.
Take your first swing at betting Major League Baseball on FanDuel and get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets. That's up to $200. That's right. Just bet $20 and you'll earn $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. That's $200 you can spend betting on everything from the money line to over-unders to who you think is going to hit the first home run on the game. You can do all that on an app that's safe, secure, super easy to use. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. There's no better place to bet on Major League Baseball than with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. So sign up today and visit FanDuel.com/CDOT to get up to $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/CDOT. FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball. 21 are present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 deposits required. Refund is your non-withdrawable bonus bets. Expiring 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. FanDuel is offering online sports betting. Canada's agreements. Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Hey, this is Rex with KC Real Estate Buyers, and I buy houses for cash. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, grab a pencil. I'm going to give you a very important phone number in 40 seconds. I'm a private real estate investor. I live right here in KC, and I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at KC Real Estate Buyers, we are improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind-in-payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000. Or go to rexbuyskc.com. That's rexbuyskc.com. And I look forward to working with you.
Hey, guys. This is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. Auto Trader.
You're all set with your new Navien water heater.
I can't wait to take a shower without running out of hot water. I'm just gonna love my Navien tankless water heater. I just want to say
Oh, no need to say that, ma'am. You'll always love Navien's high efficiency that will save you money on gas bills compared to other water heaters.
I love how I have more space with its wall-hanging design. Please let me say
Nope, sorry, miss. I know you appreciate it, but I can't let you say it.
Why not?
Because with Navien, it's a tankless job.
How long you been waiting to use that?
You'd be surprised.
Find an Navien installer near you at tanklessmadesimple.com.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way. Offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Off clean feel, so I can accessorize with studs and not with mosquitoes. I can wear my classic white crop and flagged panel jeans and know that I'm covered with 8 hours of not sticky, fragrance-free protection. Get your pre-party protection on with Off Clean Feel. SC Johnson.
Heat advisory in effect with scattered showers this afternoon with a high of 97.
Weather brought to you by Total Wine & More. At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals on amazing wines and spirits. Love what you find at the lowest prices only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com. Chiefs Red Half Hour, every day at 11:30 on Cody and Gold.
Don't forget, 1 week from today, we will be heading up to training camp. I know, shocking. That won't be the one open for the public, but you, I'm sure, can get your tickets at Chiefs.com. That is just around the corner for you as well. All of our Chiefs conversations are driven by Max Motors. Matter of fact, I'll be driven up to St. Joe by Max Motors myself, Pink. Next week, Gold and I are going to pick out a ride. Max Motors supplying us some wheels to get up to St.
Can't wait to see what you guys
Joseph,
get.
Missouri. What should we get? What do you guys think? What do you guys think?
You need an SUV of some sort. Large.
You think an
or
SUV?
truck. So you can put your equipment in the back of the truck.
We do have equipment.
But
Truck
if
would
it
be
rains,
nice.
it's a problem. So I'm saying
Why
very
is it
large
raining if it-
SUV.
Oh, because of the open bed, huh? So maybe
Like
we
an
go
Expedition,
SUV?
a Tahoe, a Sequoia, something like that.
I want something nice. Something I would never get for myself, you know?
Like you guys get a vet or something? You want a sports car?
Oh, should we do that?
Sports car?
Right, if we did that, we went sports car. The least practical for the drive up to St. Joe, but easily the coolest. So, I mean,
Who's gonna drive it at night?
we're gonna have to fight about that. We'll figure it out. I think
You
we
mean
might-
one of you has to
I think-
choose?
I think we're gonna share. I think it's gonna be he has it for a week and I have it for a week.
But Alex is gonna fight to bring it because he can pick you up on his way to St. Joe. So he'll just tell you, Cody, that I don't have car seats for you. I'm gonna drive it home. So Alex is gonna drive the car home every night and say, hey, I got to pick you up in the morning. So he's going to drive it home.
Well, I mean, you know
Alex is gonna end up with this.
You think Alex is gonna end up with this?
You tell him.
You know what I'll do? You know how I'll stake my claim to it, Pink? I will. I'll put my car seats in it. That's pretty much
Oh,
just
yeah.
being like, we're done here. The car seats are in the car, man. I'm just gonna need
Someone say get a utility
I'm
van, like a passenger van,
Like just one
two
of
seats. Hold your equipment.
I'm out here looking at the inventory. What are we gonna go with? All right, what do we got? There's lots of choices. We'll figure it out. I'm not exactly sure which we're gonna go with yet, but they got a lot of Fords on the lot right now, so we're gonna figure this out, Pink. Max Motors is gonna help us out. Don't you worry about that. Maybe. Do they still make Expeditions?
Oh yeah.
Thought for a while they discontinued those and then they came back.
They make them. Get an Expedition, a Bronco, something like that.
Bronco would be cool. That'd be very cool. I think
Explorer,
Alex will
all of
like
it's
that
cool.
car.
They have some cool stuff.
I'm open. But either way, our Chiefs conversations are driven by Max Motors, and we personally will be driven by Max Motors here coming up here pretty soon. We talked a lot about the social media habits of one Kadarius Toney yesterday. A reasonable conversation considering the fact he was kind of losing it in there, and then you said he got hacked, and I disagreed and all those things. But
yeah, he was hacked.
He was not hacked, but that's fine. That's beyond the point. We're not getting back into whether he's hacked, Pink.
I say this in jest. I say it in jest to drive you nuts.
I know, but he wasn't hacked. You're going to make people really think he was hacked. You and I both know that that's not what happened.
Oh, man. Make your own mind up about that. No, seriously.
Make up you know what? That's just a
Sit
good
at
life philosophy. You
sit
make
at
up your
dinner
own
table.
mind.
Yeah, make up your own mind. Sit at the dinner table. Your wife might say, did you see what Kadarius Toney did? And the husband say, he was hacked.
Yeah.
Say what you want. Believe what you want.
Just say whatever you want, right? That's
Giants fans aren't saying hack, probably.
But there was an article over at CBS Sports about the overvalued NFL player on every AFC team. And then there's an article on The Athletic about breakout candidates for every team in 2023. Guess which list? Kadarius Toney made both. He made both lists. Both a team that is overvalued and riding too much on, and a breakout candidate. And I think that they go hand in hand, Bink. They're not wrong. The Chiefs have put a lot, unless they signed DeAndre Hopkins, they have put a lot of eggs in the Kadarius Toney basket. But let's just say they don't for the sake of this argument. Because if they do, then I think this conversation is moot. If they don't sign DeAndre Hopkins, they have put a ton in the Kadarius Toney train, right? For a guy whose best year is 420 years and has 11 games on an NFL field for a full season, that's asking a lot of him. I understand why CBS has him as this is your ride or die. Derrick Henry's on here because the Titans are pretty much just banking on him being great. I understand why Toney's on this list.
And Henry's interesting to me because outside of quarterbacks, he's the most valuable player in the NFL beyond the quarterback because the team only goes how he goes. Other teams go how their quarterback goes. But Derrick Henry with them. But Kadarius Toney, and this really isn't coming from him. It's coming from the organization. The whole thought back that happened, well, we think he could be number one. We think he could be our number one. Whether you really think that, or was that said for posturing when it came to DeAndre Hopkins? We already got our one. We're good. Like posturing, we won't really need him. It's a luxury item. Who knows where it came from? But we all know that talent, is he talented? Yes. Hell, I thought Mondesi had more talent than anybody ever seen. But you got to stay healthy. You got to be out there every time. He's got the potential. What moves that Kadarius Toney?
But that's why it's risky.
Yeah, but when you see him, though, man, he's got everything you want. He made moves, Cody, and I know Tyreek Hill did some amazing things here. Dante Hall did some amazing things here. He showed some flashes. He was jockstrap on the floor trying to cover him type of guy. He made so many good moves, contorted his body.
Look stupid, yeah.
He did. He had the ability to make NFL players look stupid. So does a guy like that have potential to be a number one with his size and being a first rounder? Yeah, and not a first rounder 5 years ago or 6 years ago. We're talking a year after the Chiefs got him in first round. Dude's talented. And he's with Mahomes. Now, DeAndre Hopkins, I think, would be the perfect situation for him. Not only could he learn what to do and not to do, both on the field and off the field, unless you're on Team Hack, playing it straight, keeping your mind on football, don't get involved in all these extraneous things. You think D-Hop could help him there? I do. Not have the pressure, because he wouldn't have the pressure of being a number one.
No, way less.
Because the minute he misses a game, let's say it's game 3 and he's going to miss it, people are going to go nuts because that's your, quote, number one.
Because then your number one well, not just that.
Then your
it's
one's
not just
gone.
he's your number one.
Then all of a sudden your MVS is your one again.
Which is not where you want to be.
No.
MVS should never be your
He's
number one.
He's one Kadarius Toney game away from not playing to being your number one.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I don't like that notion. And it's, again, I think people take this as like a negative. The reason why this CBS article is right is they are just banking on a lot of hope. No one's saying it can't work out or that Kadarius Toney doesn't have the talent.
No, they're saying Mahomes can make anybody good.
Yeah, but you're putting a lot of risk if your wide receiver unit plans are, what if the guy who's never been healthy is healthy this one time? And that the talent we've seen on the field translates. Because that's the other part of it that I feel like people think that it's just about the health. And that is the biggest part. I really think that's a big part. But let's be honest about the fact that it is also about being able to translate his talent to actual production. People know that, right? That's another part of this? That his single best season as an NFL player was 420 yards if he had played a full 17-game schedule that year. There's only 16
It helped him when he did the Super Bowl with his return.
He had about 450. I understand. But
that helped him monumentally. But you got to forget about that. Sky Moore guy's first touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Like a guy like Mondesi who has all the talent in the world. I still have to actually see Kadarius Toney prove he can be a consistent performer every single day before I'm just like, well, that guy can do it. You got to back it up. He hasn't done either. He hasn't stayed healthy for an entire year, and he's never proven that he can take the extreme amount of talent that he absolutely has and turn that into a consistent everyday wide receiver who gets you 40 yards no matter what.
He's the biggest what if with the Chiefs. 100% one of the biggest what ifs.
And that's why I was so surprised they didn't re-sign Juju to a deal, because there's so many what ifs with Tony.
Well, unless they were worried about injury concerns.
But if they're more worried about
forward.
his injuries, then that's saying, okay, maybe they don't think Kadarius Toney's injuries were not injuries in New York, and it was just about him not getting playing
The Chiefs
time.
did have some money to worry about until Chris Jones and Juju wasn't going to sit around and wait for that. He wouldn't go and do it. But he's the biggest what if, man, JT. I mean, I just think when you think of what ifs and Kadarius Toney, it is. He's got the potential. Yeah, he flashed in the Super Bowl, but you want to back it up. How many times have we seen Major League players look good 1 year, come back the next year, and don't even come close to meeting expectations? Like, sky's the limit for him. I think the people, fans, media alike, and I'm leaving the coaching staff out of it because they pretty much know the way things are going to go one way or the other because they see every day. They put a lot of the pressure on Mahomes. Well, Mahomes can make it work. It's like you in the kitchen, Cody.
And Kelsey, we know.
Coming to dinner with me cooking, it's going to taste like absolute crap. You go to Cody's house, it doesn't matter. We use the same damn ingredients, and it's probably going to be good because you know how to cook.
Well,
Mahomes
I saw your
knows
quesadilla once. It was sad.
It was sad. It was
Maybe
pathetic.
JT can cook. We don't know.
It was a bad thing about the pandemic. I didn't get good. I did shave 2 seconds off my chugging time on beer, but that's about it.
Bro, you did.
It's the only thing I accomplished.
Wow. Hey, I can cook, actually.
Can you?
Yeah, I make some good omelets. I love to make chicken Alfredo, put some bacon crisp and some, Parmesan in it. My girlfriend loves that, so I guess there it is with the relationship. But yes.
See?
You know,
girlfriend. JT's admitted something.
Oh!
He has a girlfriend.
We'll dive into this more. Do tell. Side note, I happen to be watching reruns of Man vs. Food. Adam Richman, I don't think he does it anymore. He was down like in the Ozarks. He was hitting like some Missouri places in Arkansas. They went to a place with a pancake that was enormous. When they put the batter out, they put bacon in the batter. All right?
Okay. I'm interested.
Then they put it on the to fry it up, the pancake. Then they dipped it in the French toast batter, re-put it on there, and they called it a fran cake or something like that because it was French toast, pancake,
Sounds
and
decadent.
bacon inside of it.
Would
You
eat
kidding
that?
me?
I take it you'd eat that?
Hell yeah, I would. I just wanted to tell you, I forgot. It's like,
I thought you were watching
gotta
the
tell
All-Star game.
You know, I should have called you. Well, I was after that, way after that. I should have called you like 3 a.m. and say, hey, Cody,
Can I get this pancake?
Call, like the Mahomes call, I get some Reid.
This is our last day working together. You know, we ought to start incorporating food into Club 610. I know they don't normally serve food at the club, but we got a different kind of club. You know, it's not the same vibe.
Yeah, it goes good with beer. And what goes good with make a beer with the food? What goes
I
good
could
with
start
the
making dips or other type. There's
Oh,
tons
bring
of
your queso.
There's tons of things we could start bringing in here.
Bring
There's
the
no reason-
queso,
Tony or queso.
The pretzels with some beer.
Yeah, there's no reason why we can't start incorporating food in this. I do have one more piece, and then we'll talk more about the Chiefs here, as it obviously is the Chiefs' red half hour. We'll talk about an underrated part I think that makes the Chiefs successful, but I have big news, Jay Binkley. Somebody has found and ordered off of a Japanese website
No way.
candy canes and Christmas, and says as soon as it arrives, and God knows how long, will be mine. Now, JT, you were gone. If for some reason anybody missed a show yesterday,
How much did they
yesterday
spend?
it was brought to my attention that Trey Hillman, former Royals manager during the dark times, had a Christmas album,
which Quentin did not believe
he had released, called Candy Canes and Christmas. It was released, I believe, while he was a manager overseas.
For all those people who thought I was making it up, fact.
It kind of looks like it was self-produced at home, but every single cover I've seen of it looks exactly like this. So the 8-track album Candy Canes and Christmas by Trey Hillman will at some point be in possession of this show. And the second that it is, those songs will get worn out.
Especially around the holidays. Around Christmas time, you got to play them. I played it. I had the thing. I should have kept it. I had a copy of it.
You had it?
I played it. Somehow the Dodgers, because he was there with them as an assistant coach, the Dodgers found out about it. The PR emailed me and said, do you have a copy of that? And so I sent it to the Dodgers because they wanted it.
So maybe we could just message the Dodgers back? Maybe
Dodgers
they still
would
have it?
Probably. I mean, I don't know, it's been some
We could've
years,
just
but
sent their PR guy a line.
ask Phillips.
Like, hey, do you mind checking through your system real quick? We're looking for Trey Hillman Christmas
Do you guys have a good relationship with Brett Phillips still?
Yes.
He came on our virtual Royals before several times on Kramer.
Did he?
Whatever. Yeah, he was a
We
good
still got
dude.
a good relationship with Brett.
He was with the Dodgers 2011 through 2013 as a
Is he
as
with
an
anyone or
assistant
is he
coach.
retired?
Last time he coached was 2021 with the Marlins. He was the manager with the Nippon Ham Fighters, the Royals, and the SK Wyverns.
The hand fighters?
He won the Japanese series, and he won the
Better
Korean
that's
series.
Ham.
Nippon Ham Fighters.
Ham, okay.
They're ham fighters.
Thought you said hand, and I was like, whoa, hand
No, ham
fighting.
fighters. What's the difference?
So
Would you be a hand fighter or a ham fighter?
Ham fighter is better.
Ham is so much better.
How do you fight a ham?
I mean, I assume you fight it in pig form versus like the actual piece.
Yeah, I thought they would take pigs and go at each other, not take slices of little deli meats and go, I got you with the ham.
It's talking about
You've
your
ever gotten in a
future.
fight with the ham, JT?
I have not gotten in a fight with a ham.
At least to this point in our lives, I can't imagine why I would have, Binkley. But either way, when
You ever
that
sit there and just punched it?
when that album comes in,
Walking through Hy-Vee, bah!
I'll put the tracks on in the system for you so you can find
Thank
it as
you.
well. And then eventually, I guess maybe we'll put the CD in the Cody and Gold Garage sale. Feels like a possibility. Once I have
As
the
long as you-
digital copy.
Yeah, copied it, yeah. But you don't be hunting it down again next year. I mean, there's probably only a few of those left.
Who knows how many more?
And the thing is, luxury item, high quality item, as Cousin Eddie would say.
Dwindling by the day, Bink. That's what really matters here. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll get back into the Chiefs a little bit as well and talk about something that stands out to me about why we got to pay attention to this. But Binkley, Arid Pride had an article up that was a really stark reminder of exactly what makes the Chiefs successful that people forget about. The thing that stands out that we should be paying more attention to, that stands out for Andy and Pat's ability, if we're being honest, which is they are the best road team on the planet. They have a .691 winning percentage under Andy Reid. The Chiefs have been 500 or better on the road 9 of the 10 seasons under Andy Reid.
Including 8-0 3 years ago.
Yes, and every single season under Patrick Mahomes. So every single year that Patrick Mahomes been the quarterback, they have had a winning record on the road. They have a nearly 700 winning percentage record on the road. And this is where, like, people are always asking, like, anytime I do and I'm assuming you get this too, anytime I do a radio interview in another city, like, hey, how do the Chiefs stay atop the division? How are they able to keep everyone at arm's length? This is the second longest streak in NFL history for consecutive division wins.
How many
are
road
they able to do
losses
it?
does Mahomes have in the division? None.
Yeah.
100%.
He only has what?
100%. No. Nope.
2?
He's never lost a divisional road game.
No,
ever.
but how many divisional games
Oh,
has he lost? Like
well,
3?
he's at home. But they go to your house and they beat you.
I'm assuming that part of this success is because there is no really difficult road game anymore in the division. Denver's not difficult right now because they've held them like their head under the water. Chargers are never going to be ever again, and the Raiders are never going to be ever again. Those are never going to be difficult road environments ever again. There's no reason to think. Meanwhile, the rest of the division has to come to you. So while you don't get true home games against your toughest division rival in Kansas City, you have to face a very true road game anytime you come to KC.
I think
That
a
feels
lot
like
of it
massive
is
advantage.
I think a lot of it is the Chiefs really thrive on negativity. Like if people are rooting against them or writing against them, they love chips on the shoulder. So does it surprise me this team goes on the road and has a better road divisional record than home?
No, I think they kind of like the hate.
They do. They embrace the hate.
I think
somebody else said it too, didn't they? But that'd be a good T-shirt. Embrace the hate.
I don't remember. I don't think I have a
Embrace
Chiefs
the
shirt.
hate. Let's go, Ray Gun.
Like I think that they're working on a Chiefsaholic shirt for me. I
Oh,
got
they do a Chiefsaholic.
one thing at a time. Okay, I need a Chiefsaholic shirt before I start.
Embrace the hate.
And I think that's already a shirt. Like I think somebody already had that saying. But their ability to win the road, Bink, is a massive reason why they have stayed atop the AFC for as long as they are. Someone has asked me right on Twitch. There's like, then why even try for home field advantage? Why does that become important? Anymore, home field advantage for me, if I'm a Chiefs fan, is less about their ability to play at Arrowhead in the postseason and more about their ability to play one less game. There is still a big advantage in having to play one less game to get to the ultimate prize. One less place to slip up, one less place for 13 seconds to happen to you. Look at Buffalo a couple of years ago. Got past the first game, come to Kansas City, slip up in the 13 seconds. What if they had one last game that year? What if the Chiefs had to play in that one and they happened to slip up in the first round? Or you're at home. Like, it's just the advantage of one last thing to screw up on.
And let your crowd get in the heads of the opponent in the postseason. I think that's big. The Chiefs it doesn't matter. Like, if you have a great quarterback, it doesn't matter where you play. Play in Cincinnati, you can play on the moon. It doesn't matter if you have a great quarterback and coach. That travels. It does. And a good defense travels as well if they can get the point.
Well, they've been all over on defense in the
Do I think the crowd does make a difference in the postseason with the opponent? Yeah. With the Chiefs?
Not with the Chiefs. They seem like they like it.
They like I know Chiefs Kingdom shows up 10, 15,000, whatever on the road. They show up very well. But I think the Chiefs like a little bit of hate. I think they drink the haterade.
This goes back to the same thing about like watching this quarterback series is of the clips that are already out there, because of course the entire series is out, which means there are probably already people who have watched every episode, or at least enough of it. I assume, Bink, you're going to try to watch one tonight, maybe?
Yeah, people probably took off work, honestly.
You think
in this town, people probably took off work to watch to Mindy.
Alex is off, and I'm sure he's watching it.
Why do you think he extended one more day?
He extended one more day to watch
Why do you think he did? To watch the Mahomes. I guarantee you.
I'll have an official review of episode 1.
He could have come back today.
Hey, no wonder he flipped it, because wasn't he supposed to have off one of the days Nick was on his final week? And he said, wait, I'll come back for one day.
There you
go.
go.
He flipped it, so now he got this extra day off.
No, I actually think that I came back on Friday, even though
Okay, it was you, my bad.
I was scheduled to be off. You know what? I'm going to take this Friday off instead. No, I'm not.
There you go.
No, I think that like when you look at the way he acts in the series, you can see that he's driven by, like, it drives him in a way it drives very few athletes. The way you'd mentioned it earlier during it's everybody is motivated by different things and people handle these things differently. He likes the hate. Like, he likes
Braces it, loves it, counts on his fingers.
Yeah.
Where are you going to rank him? They
Yeah.
love the booze, bring the noise.
Yeah, all of it. It seems like it just fuels
It's
inside
like
of it.
WWE when somebody doesn't like him, they raise their arms up to keep the booze. Roger Goodell has embraced the hate. And
See,
you know
that's-
what?
and that's
Once he
what Rob
started to
Manfred
embrace,
should do.
once he embraced the hate, people started liking him.
Of course.
Use it as fuel.
Like, but everybody's not motivated that way. Like, you can't tell every athlete to do that because some people don't like the hate. They want to be loved and cherished and would like them to say nice things about them. And
Not this team.
Well, look, no, and I don't think they care. Nor
Like the
should we.
Bengals are chirping and they don't understand. Like the Chiefs like it.
Someone's also pointing out one less game for potential injuries, which is probably fair for the bye week thing. And the Chiefs are already, that Patrick Mahomes has already played a full season, a full regular season, more games than anybody who would have got to the postseason.
That's why
during
Travis
this time.
Kelce is only behind Jerry Rice in postseason touchdown catches and yards, which you can't catch them all because the Chiefs play so many postseason games. So only Jerry Rice now. Travis Kelce trails in those because they play the postseason all the time.
This is also why I'm not.
But they
worried
play to the max. They play either in the finals of the AFC title game. No other NFL team has played as much football as the Chiefs.
Yeah, but still, at the same age, Tony Gonzalez had played 3 more full seasons than Travis Kelce, including the postseason games. So there's plenty of time left for this team to do those things. It's just a matter of whether or not, a lot of what we're talking about, the motivation, the bye week, all the stuff that comes with it, these are first world problems for sure, because we're just used to it here in Kansas
Drink
City.
the haterade.
Oh, there's no doubt. They're comfortable there, Big. When we come back, there's a thing that I've noticed, a stat from Warren Sharp that's out there that tells me one thing about the post-Andy Reid era that should concern you.
Cody and Gold. The Disgusting Brothers. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
It's never too late to change careers, and you can do that right now over at Centric.com/610. You've always been interested in technology, so why not start looking at classes that start at the end of July? You can sign up now and start looking for those career growth opportunities with better benefits, more flexible schedules, and put that GI Bill or other funding to use so you can finally be in a career you're proud of. Go to Centric.com/610 and see my guy Russ Mondry and find out what they can do for you.
Before Keller. After Keller.
May I have your attention for an important announcement?
In industrial plants and processing plants, worker safety requires clear communication. Keller Fire and Safety installs and maintains state-of-the-art industrial mass notification systems to cut through the noise without blaring. So when an important announcement or emergency alert is made, employees hear every word clearly. Better call Keller. Keller Fire and Safety. KellerFire.com.
Budweiser and Harley-Davidson. The greatest legacies are built with grit and resilience, one detail at a time. This summer, we're coming together to celebrate 120 years of dedication to craftsmanship with limited edition Budweiser Harley-Davidson cans. Available anywhere Budweiser is sold. For those who give everything to their craft, this Bud's for you. Don't drink and ride. Enjoy responsibly. 2023 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
No matter what sport, no matter what you're craving, there's one place to go. Bogey's Windy City Pub. Weekend brunch from 9 to 2, weekday happy hour specials, and all the sports packages. Bogey's Windy City Pub in South Leawood, where Kansas City and Chicago come together.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Where are we on the lineup?
It's official. Avery is producing Main Street Music Days.
We need to be ready. We're going to have lots of people. What's the status on the new sound engineer?
They need an audio technician to keep things level from sound checks to encores.
Make sure audio from one stage does not compete with another.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up. And if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/JOY.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. Miss anything while you were at work? Every show is available on demand at 610sports.com and the Odyssey app. 610 Sports Radio. KCSP Kansas City. WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
We probably should have told our guy JT, at noon we normally do What's Trending. What's Trending is what. Oh, hold on, wait.
Well, in JT's defense, not a bunch.
And in fairness, I don't think he's run our.
It's All-Star Week. There's nothing going on. There's no sports.
But this is one of the.
Big Coat Media Days, football.
What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
Number one on What's Trending, new report suggests Dan Snyder was the leaker of the Gruden emails, but it might have caused his demise in Washington. There's a bit article up at ESPN.com, co-written by, I can't remember the name of the two guys. Seth Wickersham was one of them, who had written like the really good book on the New England Patriots here and all that stuff. Very long article, and interesting from a number of perspectives. Like, it was his own demise. He was trying to leak the emails to take some heat off of himself, and yet the heat circled back onto himself.
And Sean
Also,
Payton's going, what are you doing?
Well, I'd kind of forgotten about one thing that's still going on. Gruden is still suing the league. They've tried to force him into arbitration to settle this lawsuit multiple times. He has refused to do so, and he has won every single motion to continue this case forward, which means he probably has a pretty strong case, Pink. Guess why the NFL doesn't want this case to go to trial? Because then things come out, open records come out. There is a little thing called discovery.
That's why settlements
the NFL
usually
doesn't
start
like.
appearing.
That's why Colin Kaepernick settled. The NFL doesn't want to get to the discovery phase in any of these things. They will eventually settle with John Gruden, but to this point, his lawsuit is ongoing.
Also, what's trending, the American League actually lost an All-Star game. For the first time in a long time, 9 straight?
Yeah.
National League had won. They've, last 20 years, National League's won like 3 times. They've been on a long stretch before. They either lost or tied one game. They obviously led to the meaning something when they put meaning on it and took it away. But what was it, 2002 All-Star game? But the American League always dominates this. AL had not lost the game since 2012, the COVID year. They did not play an All-Star game. It was exciting. I know people were hung up on the uniforms. I actually liked them, to be honest with you. I actually did. It'd be pretty sweet to have one of the Perez American League ones there. I actually
They're
enjoy.
okay. I saw some people really hating on them. They're all right.
They were hating on it, but I don't understand. That's what they do for the City Connect, too. They wear those black pants, like on Friday Night Seattle, but they had National League wear them, not the American League. But it was cool hearing 2 players mic'd up, not just one, but having 2. Like when they took Mookie Betts and Freeman and had them both, mic'd up at the same time. We even had pitchers mic'd up in this game, which is something we don't see. People didn't like it. I was like, wait, it's a meaningless exhibition game. Nothing's on the line. I want to hear what the pitcher is saying.
They should be mic'd up and talking to each other before he throws a pitch.
It was great.
It's the All-Star game. You tell me right now in a spring training game, if Zach Greinke's like, hey, man, I'm throwing a curveball, so good luck. And then toss one across, you wouldn't be interested? Of course you would be. That would be fantastic. Next up on What's Trending, Major League Baseball is looking to soften one of its rules ahead of the 2023 playoffs. According to reports, Rob Manfred is exploring with the idea of softening the pitch timer going into the postseason because I think they want to create those dramatic moments. Mistake. It's working.
You don't want Kenley Jansen times 50.
No. And why give them why give the mouse a cookie and give them a taste to go back to this? Most of these guys at this point are used to the speed and they're going to go to that speed. There's no real reason to soften these rules me if you're Rob Manfred. Playoff games don't have to be longer. The intensity is still in the guy standing there not knowing what's going to happen with the next pitch. You still get that even though they take a little longer.
Don't backtrack. Keep it exactly how it is, Rob. Or continue to get booed every time you do anything, which is a sign of endearment for Roger Goodell at this point. The New York Jets, one of 4 teams that could have been selected for Hard Knocks. It's what the people wanted, and it's what the people get. The New York Jets on Hard Knocks.
It makes sense.
How much Aaron Rodgers are we going to get? I don't know. Going to get anything? Is he going to look?
I
want to know about Dark Mr. Treat. I want to hear him talk about his Dark Mr. Treat. I don't think he will, but I want to hear about it. You get to see McCole Hardman, his fancy jet chain he's got, hopefully. Because you know that's going to show up on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, McCole will be. I bet McCole gets a whole half feature on an episode.
McCole will be featured on that. Sauce will be on there a bunch. A lot of stuff on Sauce.
Sauce was getting in fights on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah.
Him and Darrell Revis and Asante Samuel.
Yeah, a little corner fighting.
Cornerback duel, right?
But Hard Knocks will be returning. Finally, it's the latest they've selected a team. New York Jets, come on down. This is what happens when you don't make the playoffs, Jets.
Yeah, starting next week on the 18th. They'll be filming the Jets.
It could have been earlier for Robert Sala's first year, but weren't. But Rex Ryan, the Jets, that was an entertaining Hard Knocks.
Chiefs will be reporting to camp in a week, which is just absolutely insane, if you ask me. Next up on What's Trending, according to Diana Rossini, even though there's a deadline set between Barkley's camp and the Giants of 4 p.m. on Monday to get a new long-term extension done with him. She's reporting today that they are still in an absolute stalemate. Now, maybe that's the agents talking, and deadlines spur action, as you well know. They still got 5 days on this bad boy. But the real question is that if he doesn't get the deal, will he sit out? Will they put one less year on his body and try to get himself somewhere else? Or will he just play this final year of his contract before going there? I understand with running backs, more than any other position, Binkley, always, always, always take your advantage and just wait out to try to get a deal because you're only going to get paid once.
Especially as good as he is, it's hard to stomach for a lot of players, including running backs, that he just doesn't already have this extension done and he was tagged, but yet doesn't have his deal. It just shows you what NFL teams think about running back situations. Again, a guy like Derrick Henry, asterisk on that of how much he means to the team, but Chiefs proves you can take a 7th-round running back and lead your team. And win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Don't forget, coming up, starting right now and moving forward through the rest of the month and into August, we'll have our Let's Play Sports Equipment Drive with drop-off locations at the Urban Youth Academy anytime Monday through Friday, 9 to 6 during their early business hours. We're trying to get some new and used sports equipment to people of need in the youth area of Kansas City. So we'll take new to gently used equipment targeting baseball, softballs, baseball gloves, catcher's equipment, bags. Monetary donations can be made right there at 610sports.com. And even Gold and I will be right outside Gate D on Thursday, July 20th next week, taking your donations prior to Royals and Tigers. So hopefully we'll have something to give away for anybody who's willing to come out and donate. But if you've got some new or gently used sports equipment, we would love it for our Let's Play Sports Equipment Drive benefiting the Urban Youth Academy. I know that we don't want to think sometimes in Kansas City about what the post years look like, but it's hard not to when you've got guys who are, I don't know, not towards the end, I'm not sure, but, towards the end of this career. But real quick on the text line, someone from the 913 is mentioning, are any of you doing the Sporting KC Media game tonight? Yes, I am. Going down for the dub, Bink. I'm going to get a goal tonight. You know what? I'm going to get physical. In the rain? It's supposed to rain tonight?
Who knows? It never does.
I've heard it's supposed to be a nice little storm tonight.
Well, I'm not afraid to play in the rain. I
change
thrive,
mine all the time.
as a matter of fact.
What are you going to have on your jersey? Is it going to say tap?
They changed. The last one I wore in Sporting said Super Bone. Oh, this one does say tap. This one does say tap. And then it's the number 17 because we're the 17th ranked mid-market midday show in the country. So,
who's your leader?
I don't know. Do we have a team captain?
I don't know.
Aaron Ladd, maybe. I mean, he likes it more than the rest of us, I think. He's a motivated member of the squad, and he's on our team tonight. So maybe him. Maybe our guy, Aaron Ladd. It'll be fun.
My favorite media game ever was the arena football team. Remember the Commanders?
They had a media football game?
They did.
Football game?
I remember Katz was in it. Chris Katz, father of former intern Jason Katz, was in the game. Yeah, they did a Arena Football League media game with jerseys
I wish
and
the
everything.
Chiefs did a media game.
And your name on a jersey. The whole brigade that turned.
You still got yours?
I do.
Oh, man. One of these days. That might be, God, the brigade. Good times, man.
It was a single digit, too. You know what I said about those? I had to squeeze into that bad boy.
Of course, it was a single digit. We don't like to talk about the end of eras for the Chiefs because obviously we think they're in the middle of their absolute heyday, and they are. There has never been, and Binkley, let's face the reality. There will never be a better time to be a Chiefs fan than right now. This is it. This is peak times. There will never be a better time.
Yeah, for
They've
most
won
ways,
2
their whole
Super Bowl in
life.
5 years. They got the best quarterback in the NFL. They got one of the best coaches in the NFL. They got one of the best GMs in the NFL. This is the absolute glory days of Kansas City Chiefs fandom. But it was making me think, because it's off season, and it makes you think about, like, okay, we're always just wondering, like, how long will Andy Reid coach? Warren Sharp put out a stat that scares me for the post-Andy Reid era, because I knew that they led the league in 20-plus yard plays last year. But then when you start looking at their wide receiver unit, you're like, okay, so Kelsey, but Kelsey never gets a 30 or 40-yard play. Kelsey gets all these 20-yard plays. He was close to the league lead in that as well. He was 5th in the NFL. But then you're like, Juju only had 900 yards. They only had 700 from MVS. They got 20-yard plays. They're getting 20-yard plays out of Jerick McKinnon, Isaiah, everybody.
Justin Watson is.
They led the NFL. And, like, once you get out of the top 5, it's a pretty sizable margin. And to me, that is an Andy Reid-specific thing. And what I'm trying to figure out is, will they be able to maintain that when Andy is gone? Or will they just have to look different and reinvent themselves around whatever the hell Mahomes wants to do? Because they don't have to worry about that yet. But it's like, okay, no Kelsey, no more. Like 5 years from now, let's say there's no Kelsey and no Andy. What is? I know the identity is just Pat, but like, how do you make the rest of this flow where you win 13 games no matter who your head coach is? Because Belichick didn't have to go through those kind of waves, and most people who are in historically great situations don't.
And how are you going to keep everything together? Veach's going to stay here.
Lost the whole time.
You're going to keep the whole crew together.
Well, Veach, I'm not
Obviously,
worried about him. He made the general manager for 20 years.
But you got Mahomes here, so rest easily. But the Chiefs have created this whole culture. You're right. I mean, you got to think about it. How many people weren't around the first Super Bowl win with Dawson, but just watched the clips of it, right? My whole lifetime, Cody, your whole lifetime, they played in one AFC title game, 94, against the Bills. And what we've seen now is unprecedented. It's almost like what you do in Kansas City. Think about it. It's Sunday. It's people getting together for the Chiefs games. They talk about it all the time. It's become who and what you are. What are you going to do when he leaves? Because eventually he will. I just sit here and contend that they're going to be fine. And as far as these shorter touchdowns, it just shows you Andy Reid's ability to change. How are defenses doing it? Are they going to limit the big play of the Chiefs because they're concerned about it? Yes. Take the top off the defense or
What's
offense.
funny is they eliminated the really big plays from the Chiefs last year, and it meant absolutely nothing. They just took less big, but still big plays, right, by NFL standards.
Even the year 2 years ago when people said that they figured out the Chiefs offense, they were still number 1 in points per drive in the NFL. Still won. That's limiting the Chiefs to where they're still number 1. And then next year, they found ways to be different. Andy Reid was more creative, spread the ball around. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid said last year, around this time when they were up in training camp, it's going to be a different-looking offense. It's going to be different. We're spread the ball around. And that's exactly what they did.
What it really makes me think about is this right now is the perfect year to evaluate exactly where you are with your wide receiver unit, and then next year decide on the level of aggressiveness you want to take towards it. Because this is the perfect year to figure it out. How good is Moore, Rice, Tony, not MVS, because he's fine, but he's not part of the long term.
You know what he is.
Yeah, it's really those three guys. Let's find out where they are. Let's find out how far down it is. Because just on the off chance, because I don't think Andy Reid's going anywhere right now, but I also think part of how long he stays in Kansas City is related to his health. So maybe I don't think he's going anywhere for 5 years right now when he's moving and fine and seems healthy.
Perfect spot.
What if he has one health scare? What if it's just one health scare? He's 60, what, 5? 60, how old is he?
65.
65 years old? Okay, you can have health scares at 65, it turns out.
Well, they have in the past. I mean, you don't worry about it as much. They have the best trainers available. But if there's anything there at all, they're right there on top of it and will be going forward. But guys come through this. Health scares happen all the time.
But don't you think there's at some point that Andy, now that he's got the rings and stuff, that he might be like, okay, time to dial it back? Or is he just a lifer?
He's the lifer. There was thoughts that he was going to take some time off after the Philly thing, just kind of sort things out and see where we're going. But then he was going to interview with Arizona. The Chiefs met off the pass. They meet at Philadelphia Airport, signed Andy Reid. He just couldn't stay away. Enter Patrick Mahomes. He's fine with Alex Smith. He was winning games and missed the postseason once.
He obviously still wanted to coach.
Was winning the division with Alex Smith.
He didn't do the NFL head coach gap year, which has been very popular, right?
Didn't take the gap year. We did television and everything else. No, he went back to football, gets Patrick Mahomes, and the rest of his career is now cemented. And look at where he's moved. He's 5th all-time in coaching wins, 2nd all-time in postseason victory, sitting right there with Bill Belichick. He's won 2 Super Bowls. He's been to 4. He's been to 5 NFC title games, been to 5 AFC title games. The guy has proven about everything you can in the sport. He really is. But he wants more. He continues to want more, and you have to appreciate that. That's all you ever want in a coach or quarterback or anything else, the desire to win again. And that's what Andy Reid has, and that's what Patrick Mahomes has, and it's the perfect combination. But how long can it go? And I think it can go because there's a culture developed. Is there plug-and-play culture now with the Kansas City Chiefs?
This feels like it directly involves you. Big 12 Media Day is going on right now?
It is.
Brett
Finally.
Yormark is currently speaking to members of the media. He has announced the Big 12 will have a new logo next year. Are you okay?
I am okay. Did you see that? Did you see all the praise BYU is getting? No. Like they were talking about all these TV contracts and everything, how BYU was the big one. Like that was the one that brought in and raised them from $28 million to $31 million because of BYU. Like that was
they got a big
one,
fan base.
That was the big franchise they needed in the Big 12.
I mean, I think that Yormark is aggressively approaching this, which is good.
They needed this.
Because my biggest argument for all of this, all this realignment that we're going through again is the mistake Pac-12 did is they didn't just kill them. They should have killed the Big 12. They had a chance. When everything was going on, they could have just killed them.
Remember Texas and Oklahoma back in the day? Think about going out there?
They could have buried their ass. And instead, they're like, we don't care about them anymore. They're not a threat to us anymore. They're just
USC
a little
and
guys.
UCLA get poached.
And now the Pac-12 is in dangerous straits. But the Big 12 should learn that lesson. And they should kill the Pac-12. Kill them off.
Now you're debating San Diego State.
Or take a leg from the ACC.
Joining the coverage.
No.
Arizona State one gone. The Big 12 can poach on these teams. Look for Colorado to go quickly over to the Big 12. Conference football is setting up to have a few of the powers. Big 10, SEC, Big 12, they're going to be in the mix. Who's going to be the other one? Is it going to be the ACC? Somebody else is going to be the other one? Or is all the teams, great teams, going to migrate either the Big 10, the SEC, or the Big 12? But the Big 12 is in the dance. They're in the house. They have made it through security. They're sitting in the VIP section.
But they've got to kill somebody, though. Do you understand? Like, if they let everyone else live, I know that sounds so aggressive, but it's like if they let somebody live through this, they let the Pac-12 live through this, it might be them who's getting you in 10 years. That's what just happened. The Big 12 was in the worst spot through the major realignment 20 years ago. It was desperate times. Schools were leaving. Texas and Oklahoma were demanding insane things to say. You were like, oh, my God, what are we going to do? You were the weakest conference by far of the 5 big boys, of the Power 5. Now, you could argue they're the 3rd strongest. I think it's between them and the ACC, but they're right there. I think they are the 3rd strongest. All right, fine. You're not getting past the Big 10, and you're not getting past the SEC. No chance.
Yeah, once UCLA and USC went, but the Big 12, Arizona State, they hate the situation. They have for years. Like, they would be very poachable. But to me, it's about Oregon. It's about Washington getting these schools. Finish them off. How many times have you seen an MMA fight where someone's just getting beaten to oblivion and then turns out in the final round and wins the fight? Well, it takes one punch. You don't want the Pac-12 being that.
No.
Finish them.
Yeah,
like you said, finish them off.
Go steal the Arizona schools or steal Colorado. Just take whoever it takes left for them to just be like adding 5 sad schools. And they may call themselves Power 5, but they're never coming back.
I mean, they thought Larry Scott was the answer. He's the one that started their network. They had 7 networks.
Yeah, but he's been lying
about it. And he left and they're a mess.
Well, and right now, their current commissioner is just making up lies about how strong their TV deal is. And it's not. You know why? Because they don't have one yet. You know why? Because nobody wants to pay them. So they have to decide whether to go to the streaming networks and essentially kill themselves.
Because Apple's sitting right out there ready to take Pac-12, and they don't want to do that.
No.
Here's the thing, though. The Big 12, they get one of those teams. They're now in every time zone. Because they've got the East. They've got the Central. They've got Mountain with BYU. Boom. Need a West Coast.
Just go take their highest value property and make it yours. It's really that simple. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll talk to our guy, Josh Vernier, Royals insider. He's enjoying, I believe, a drive up or fly up. He's out of the state. But we're going to talk to him anyway coming up at 12:30 as the Royals are obviously in their break time before the second half after the All-Star break takes place. But I got a real quick question for you, Bink. You've been married a couple times. JT is in a serious relationship, we now learned. How long have you been with your girlfriend, JT? Get a little more details here. This will help me get an idea of
I've
your
been
answer
with
to
my
this.
girlfriend almost 3 years now.
3 years?
Dude.
Yeah.
What the hell? It's common law. You're getting close. So you're halfway.
So you had a girlfriend all through
Well, you
college?
don't live with her, or do you live with her?
We do not live together.
That's a sin, Bink. How dare you?
But we started dating literally during COVID. Funniest thing, I was just on a dating app. Well, my parents, hey, you've been told a lie the whole time. But yeah, I found her on a dating app. We got together, and so far the rest has been history.
Wait,
so,
how have you been telling her parents you met?
Oh, from a friend.
Okay.
You don't use Farmers Only?
I mean, come on, man. It's 2023. You can meet on an app. That's how most people
Everybody
meet.
does.
Well, back when we first started dating, she was like, I don't want my parents to know I've been on a dating app.
And you're like, all right, we'll just tell them a friend introduced us for
Yeah,
now.
yeah, that's what we said.
Whatever. It's still working.
They know now.
Now they know. Yeah, especially if he's listening, Steve. Sorry.
His parents listen.
This is the first time Steve's finding out about this?
I believe so, Steve.
Oh, we're going to get JT in trouble. We're going to get JT in trouble with the maybe future in-laws. Who knows? They've been together for 3 years.
3 years.
Speaking
JT's
of-
a young guy, too.
Speaking of in-laws, here's the dilemma I now face. So late last week, Thursday or Friday, my father-in-law had called me because they had a painter scheduled to paint part of their cabinets because they have new cabinets being installed in one half of this, and they want these to match, so they're going to have them painted out guy bales. He knows I have a paint sprayer, so he asks me, can I do it? Now, I go over and fine, right? I'll help out. So Friday, Saturday night, Saturday, Sunday night, whatever, because like whatever paint they're doing takes like 24 hours to dry because it's like really nice cabinet paint. So like I go over, I do the best job I can. Here's the dilemma I'm having. They are insisting on paying me money for my work.
Take it.
No, I think you don't. I don't think you can take it.
You have to.
I don't think you can take the money.
Of course you take it.
You're saying take it?
Listen, you're a busy guy. You're with your career. You're raising their grandkids.
Well, yeah, I mean, but they got other grandkids.
You
They're
got
not
other
only
things
two.
to do on a Friday or Saturday night?
But they help me out all the time.
It wasn't even the All-Star
they
break.
They babysit my kids, and I don't pay them for that. So they're going to pay me for
That's
the
a good
cabinet
point.
work?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I feel like
that's a great point. Because they do babysit your kids without. Okay, that's a good trade-off. That's trade.
Right? Shouldn't this just be called an even barter exchange?
Well, can you at least accept beer?
Fine. They want to give me a 6-pack. I'm not going to
Good.
argue. I'm
I'd
just
go for
feeling
more
like
than
I'm
that.
not
I'd
supposed
go
to
at least a
accept
case
cash
or
for this.
12-pack.
Because their argument is
A nice dinner, maybe?
We were going to pay these people anyway, right? We were going to pay these people to pay the cabinets. We can just pay you. I'm like, yeah, but they would have done a professional level job at this. I thought a very good job, but I'm still not a professional painter. I mean, I taped off all the floor and the walls and sheeted it out and did what I could.
Did a
I
little
guess,
work,
to
it
paint
sounds like.
Well, yeah, but I mean, still, I don't think I'm allowed to accept this money.
But it is, I mean, think about it, though. It
Text
is.
line says you don't take the money. My father-in-law insists I take money from them or pay for the next round of golf for us.
Well, I know they're babysitting. Let's think about this real quick. They're babysitting for you, yes, but it is their grandkids. Are you really babysitting your grandkids, or like, are you babysitting your own? No, you're not, because you're your grandkids. You want to see them. Got to think about that. Look, this is different. Like, yes, they quote are babysitting your grandkids, but they're also getting to see your grandkids. Much different story. So the more I think about this, the more I think you should take the money.
Can't they just like pop for a dinner or something?
If they set it out, or just go put it in your car, maybe, or maybe put it in your
my
pocket.
car.
Yeah, they could. Just to make sure you take it. Be creative with it, because that is going to hand it to them. If they take it and they put it in your pocket, or whatever, just be all right. Yeah, don't give it back because
I
they
feel
want
like
to pay
it gets
you.
awkward. I think you're allowed to say no. Generally, when it comes to stuff like this, you're only allowed to deny this thing twice. When somebody is really trying to offer you something that seems too generous or something you're not afraid, I think you're allowed to say no twice. But if they come back at you the third time, what's your option? You have to say
Take it.
yes.
Someone
so you're
says,
saying just take the money.
I don't understand 913. Take B instead of money. Don't take money from family. Here's the thing, and be careful with this. Just close your ears if you want to, Cody.
Okay.
But in-laws are in-laws. That is not blood. Divorce does happen in this country. So your in-laws.
So what if it's my parents?
Your
I have to
in-laws
charge them?
sometimes become outlaws. If you're divorced, you don't care anymore. But family, like your own parents or something, they're not leaving you.
Like I wouldn't take money from my sibling.
But if you get divorced, they're not your in-laws anymore. Oh, I'm just saying, yes, family because of marriage at this point, but doesn't mean family forever. This country gets divorced a lot. So I'm just saying, you never know what happens down the line, and you might regret it. You might be sitting there one night eating your frozen pizza and slamming beer saying, why didn't I take their money?
I mean, why will
It caused me all this heartache. Why didn't I take their money?
I feel like I'll be more worried about the, I don't know, divorce that I just got. Not the, I don't even know what they're offering. Not the money they're trying to pay me for the cabinets.
My in-laws lived out of town. They used to come in, and they'd take over the whole damn house. Like your bedroom, everything. I'd take my
your
clothes.
bedroom?
Oh, yeah, I'd take clothes, go down to somewhere else and sleep. They'd take over everything. Literally take over everything.
I'll say right now that my relationship with my in-laws is obviously significantly better than whatever you're describing.
One time they came over for Christmas, right? Literally, I was bitching about this on the radio, about the situation I was in.
Oh, they were listening?
They listened to 5 minutes of the entire show. That was the 5 minutes they chose. Didn't want to hear about Mahomes and the Chiefs and all that. No, they heard me complaining about them. And you know what? They're not my in-laws anymore.
So you wish you wouldn't have accommodated them now?
Yeah.
They took over your room?
Yeah, go to the Holiday Inn. Don't let the door hit you on your way out. Go.
Didn't you have a guest room? Your kids' room?
We did.
Not your
They
room.
just take over everything. That's what they do.
Is this the wife one or two?
The second one, Cody.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know which in-laws you were describing. Maybe you had a better relationship with
I
one
had
set
4 of them.
Maybe you had a better relationship with
I
one
did.
set of in-laws. Than
I
the other.
actually, I like them all, but they do take over things. But I gladly would have taken their money.
So if they had done work, I mean, I get it. I did the work. But I mean, they paid for all the equipment, or not the equipment. They paid for all the material and stuff. I
You
didn't go
taped
buy
things, you painted things, you wasted a Friday. Well, you did. You wasted a Friday and Saturday night where you could have been playing poker, could have been in the game, could have been
a
hanging
few
with
hours.
your kids.
What a big deal. The kids were. I took the kids over there. I was like, "You're coming over.
Yeah,
come to your grandparents' house." I figured they watched.
You
the kids
probably
enough
even made them
that.
cheese.
No, I didn't. I didn't know. I did not make dinner.
You probably brought some cookies. See?
I don't remember.
See?
I don't think so. Not
See?
this time. Not saying I never did. but
In-laws now, but could
That's
be
it.
outlaws later. That's how you got to look at it. My father-in-law did look at me weird, though, when he saw the holes in my wall. Because I had pictures over them. Because he wanted to fix them.
Yeah.
But they were from Chiefs' big losses. Like, little, I used to go around and put, like, there's like 2 or 3 holes that were from Chiefs' big losses.
Sure.
And I put pictures over 'em, but the pictures came down. They were, like, seriously questioning my daughter about, do I have an anger problem?
You're like,
No, I have a football problem is what I have.
Yeah, a little bit different.
A football problem.
Someone says from the 816, I'm handy and I get asked to do stuff around my in-laws' house. They always insist on paying my used to refuse until my wife heard that I wasn't taking it. Then she asked me to take it so that she could have it. Like, I mean,
Is Bink on a dating app? I'm on Farmers Only.
Farmers Only. That's Binkley's primary dating app. That and Applebee's. We know the 2 places.
I'm with milk gatherers at the current time.
If you're looking for, find Bink and love, you can do that. When we come back, Josh Vernier, our Royals insider, joins us next.
Cody and Gold.
A gentleman named George Bancroft, who is an American historian, statesman, prominent in the the entire 1800s.
Are we almost done with this conversation?
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Get ready for the Diamonds Direct Midsummer Savings Event. Starting Friday, you can take an extra 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, and more. You get Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable price, plus an extra 20% off. Thousands of engagement mountings, fashion styles, and wedding bands included. Plus, acclaimed jewelry designers will be in store with an expanded selection. All the latest styles and trends, all on sale. You can't miss this. Diamonds Direct's sizzling summer store-wide sale. Starting Friday. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
The other place with 3 great Kansas City locations, Shawnee, Olathe, and downtown Overland Park, is the perfect place to wind down after a tough day at work. Go grab yourself something to drink, go sit out on the patio, have some amazing food, and catch the game. For all your summer fun, be sure to stop by the other place. My friends at Window World asked me to tell you about a very special auction benefiting Action for Autism. Action for Autism is a Missouri organization that provides therapy and learning for kids ages 2 to 21 to help them prepare for a successful future. You can bid on a whole home renovation worth $40,000. To place your bid, go to the Kansas City Chiefs website or windowskc.com. The bidding starts at $15,000. The auction will close on July 27th, and it's so easy to register. The renovation package includes windows, exterior wrapped, insulated siding, gutters, doors, and much more. Every penny of the proceeds go to Action for Autism. You can make a donation. If you choose not to submit a bid, all you need to do is go to windowskc.com for all the details. 1 out of 68 children born today are diagnosed with autism, and you can make a difference in these kids' lives by making a bid or a donation at windowskc.com today.
When you get your home internet from Big Cable, you'll go through the 5 stages of grief over your bill. There's denial.
Okay, so my introductory rate is over, but surely they won't raise the price.
Anger.
They've raised it.
Even bargaining.
Maybe if I complain, they'll give me a discount.
And sure, you could stick around for depression and acceptance to kick in. Or you can switch to T-Mobile. With T-Mobile 5G home internet, you can say goodbye to the grief of exploding bills. Because with our price lock guarantee, we won't raise your rate for internet ever. And it's just $50 a month with autopay and eligible payment method. Plus, setup only takes 15 minutes. Get T-Mobile 5G home internet for just $50 a month. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/5G internet.
Price lock exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Qualifying credit required. Regulatory fees included in $50 price for qualified accounts, plus $5 per month without autopay. Debit or bank account required.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands to treat ED at up to 95% off. That's right, the same active ingredient as the brand name for 95% less. It's the same ED medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
The Dell Technologies Black Friday and July event starts now with limited quantity deals on top business PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Plus, get special financing with Dell Business Credit. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to business customers by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
At the Home Depot, we'll get your kitchen clicking. With savings on top brand appliances, like a new LG CounterDepth Max refrigerator with ultra-large capacity on the inside and a seamless look on the outside. Or an LG oven with built-in air fryer for crispier, healthier cooking. Plus, with convenient shopping in-store and online at the Home Depot, your innovative new appliances are just a click away, too. Final days to get special buy savings plus up to $1,000 off select kitchen appliances like this exclusive LG kitchen package at the Home Depot. Ends July 12th.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit GetJim.com.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Max Motors. 9 major vehicle brands to choose from. MaxMotors.com. The Summer of Freedom sales event is going on at
all Max Motors dealership locations.
Experience the freedom of the open road with no payments
for 90 days
and a $500 gas card on every vehicle purchased in the month of July.
Shop MaxMotors.com. See dealer for details.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna
sharpest tool in the shed.
Back in here on Cody and Gold, 610 Sports Radio, 610sports.com, and the Odyssey app. Or you can catch us on the live stream. We're on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube.
Snapface, InstaChat.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Maybe we should be on Threads.
What Belichick? Wasn't it InstaChat, Snapface?
I don't think either of those are real. Snapchat's a real
What's
one.
what Belichick said?
Yeah, that is what Belichick said. He's just being a smart ass. You know he
InstaChat.
knows the actual names of those things.
Are you on Threads?
Whether he wants to admit it or not. I am on Threads.
Is the show on Threads? I mean,
The
not
show.
you. I know you are, but is
Well,
the
we don't
show
even have
on
a show
Threads?
Twitter account. So, is the live
Is the
stream?
live stream on Threads like it is Twitter?
No, I'm afraid the live stream is not
see?
on Threads.
Could be a trendsetter.
On fairness, I don't know if I can do that yet. I guess I should look into it. If I can live stream on Threads, I guess I'll live stream on Threads.
Just put it up there as much as you can.
The software I use only allows me 6 live streaming places at one time. I just mentioned the 4.
Really?
A 5th goes to a server that essentially allows me to save the video for other purposes in case we need it later. So I got room for one more.
One more.
So either I have to ditch one Bink, or I got to go to the other ones. Don't forget, by the way, this week, Jefferson's is celebrating being named the favorite wings in Kansas City by the Kansas City Stars with an absolutely fantastic deal. They're offering 50-cent wings all week at their Lenexa and North Kansas City locations. Not only that, but every single customer who walks through the door will be entered to win free wings for a year. You have a chance to do that just by going to Jefferson's. I'm pretty sure JT told me he went to Jefferson's for the first time yesterday.
I did. I actually went with my girlfriend and a friend of hers and her boyfriend, so it was fun.
You guys heard about the 50-cent wings on 610? You're like, okay.
I mean, I work at 610. I'm like, all right, I see these wings. I got to try them out now.
They're good, man.
Oh, yeah, they were really good.
They're
Nice and crispy.
They're fantastic.
But I thought it was weird. I'm not judging them, but I thought it was weird you get tortilla chips as a side.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a nice little difference.
Not
Touch to
super
it.
uncommon in wings. Not crazy at wing
And
places.
say hi to
but
Nick
yeah.
when you're there. Someone to see Nick Price.
Did you go to the Lenexa location or the North Kansas City location? That's the 2 locations, by the way, for the 50-cent wings.
I went Lenexa.
Lenexa, okay.
I haven't been that one yet. North Kansas City, a bunch.
Text line's really split, by the way. About 50% of the people agree with you, take the money, and about 50% say don't take it.
What? That's where we are in society. What's the divorce rate? Is it 50, 60%? What is it? 50%? I figured 50% of the people will agree with me, and 50% will say I'm an idiot.
Well, let's see.
But 50%'s probably been divorced, and they understand that you don't like them anymore. You had to pretend like you liked them when you were married.
But I do like them.
Now it's like, screw off.
But I do like them.
But you know what? If you get divorced, you're not going to like them. You'll
According
be an afterthought,
to the
man.
American Psychological Association, approximately 40 to 50% of marriages in the United States end in divorce.
So 40 to 50% will think I'm right. The other
You just think
50%,
all the people who are agreeing.
the other 50%
are
won't think I
divorced.
am. In 3 years, they will.
Oh man, we're still vetting our guy Josh Vernier. I did not think about the fact that he was out of town.
He's got in-laws.
And here's a little. We're an open book on this show, so Vernier has a standing and time on this show, 12:30 on Wednesdays. That is normally confirmed by our producer. I did not tell JT to do that. I did not tell Quentin to do it yesterday. Our full-time producer is gone. So, yeah, I probably should have sent that text. I didn't. And now I'm not sure if Vern even realizes he's supposed to be on this show.
Did you get big timed?
I don't think I got big time.
It is All-Star break. We do have to give him a break for All-Star. This is All-Star break.
No one told me he was taking a break. I didn't know.
I'm just imagining this right now because you gave me his phone number contact to text him. I
And
text him.
he's going to see this call later. He's going to be like, oh, no.
And he's gonna be like, this random number texts me. Oh no, he's the intern for Cody and Gold. Ah, crap.
Well, it is All-Star week. A lot of times, during these weeks, you were the Royals insider during the All-Star break. I came after the break the year before, but did you take off that week? Probably. I don't remember hearing from you.
I don't remember. I don't know. That was so long ago.
It's a couple years ago.
It is. I mean, but it was like 4 years ago. I can barely remember what I did last week. Bink, there's no way.
I prefer to say you got big time.
Someone said first marriages are only like a 30%.
That's not true. I think high school sweethearts, the number's real low.
Like low divorce rate or high divorce?
High divorce. Like you meet them early? I don't know. I mean, it's just.
I'm sure
a lot of the relationships
growing up to do part of that.
I'm just saying. First marriage is, I mean, it's not 30%. It's got to be higher than that.
I don't have any idea. I'm assuming that it's somewhere in that range, Pink. It was funny because we were talking in the break a little bit about the Chiefs, and like somebody on the text line earlier brought up the Travis Kelce was talking on his podcast, was like, my worst season as a big leaguer I was 9-7. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
9-7?
Was it 2014?
And I was like, that's your worst season? Win-loss record of your entire career? Because you had asked me before the show, you had said, what are Chiefs fans going to do if or whenever they actually have a down season? Which is a more than fair question, Bink, because people lose it if they just have one struggle game against Tennessee.
You see the text line after a post-game show. It's, we suck again. We're going.
Even after they've
need
won?
a new head coach. Oh, no. Well, no, because they send this before they win. You know how many times I respond with, then what happened? Love doing that. All these texts we get, then what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Please call 913-586-7610. Let's talk you through this. But people, they get on the ledge because the Chiefs are in close games a lot. They'll make you sweat through it, but they always find a way to come back and win. It's just what the Chiefs do. Doesn't matter if it's Super Bowl, whatever. They're going to come back, find a way to win the game. This is kind of what they do. But what's going to happen when they don't? What's going to happen when that field goal doesn't go through, that touchdown is not caught? We're going to be able to handle not being in the AFC title game every year, because throughout your lifetime, if you're a 50-year-old guy or gal in this town, before this little 5-year run of AFC title games, you saw one. And it was in Buffalo in 94. You're not used to this.
And now,
you're used to this in the 80s. You're not used to it.
I know that this sounds so silly because I was too young to probably have really appreciated what was going on at that time. And I loved baseball more than football when I was like that age too, Bink. When all the Joe Montana stuff is happening and they're flying helicopters over the practice field, I actually think Chiefs fans should stop glorifying that time in life, because that is loser mentality. That's when you were a loser fan. When the only thing you had to grab onto was an aging, over-the-hill
don't forget about Marcus Allen as well.
Showing up to give you one last gasp
and Marcus Allen.
One last gasp of hope of maybe this is the one time we'll actually do something meaningful for our franchise in 30 years.
Cody, it was
You
excitement.
don't have to glorify.
It was excitement.
I know, but you don't have to glorify that time anymore. You have the real thing. You have Montana, but when he was playing for the Niners.
We will always have Montana.
The real thing now. You don't have to remember those times fondly.
It had just been so long. You were starved of something. A quarterback comes in here like Joe. Marcus Allen came. Things were different for the Chiefs. Arrowhead in the 90s rose up to be Arrowhead. Gone were my $75 season tickets in the late 80s. Way gone when they turned good.
Oh, yeah.
$75 for the end zone, man.
For the season?
They were like student tickets.
Nice.
I used to ride the bus. I caught it in North Kansas City where the baseball stadium proposal
I used to take
was.
the bus to the Royals games.
Did you? Yeah, I took the bus to the Chiefs games. And, actually, then I started dating a gal, and I called it a fall romance. They'd start coming around, being all nice around football season because her dad had tickets, right? So I'd go to every game. I'd get her some cotton candy or nachos, and I was good. Fall romance. But anyway, the rise of the Chiefs. Are you going to be able to stomach it? Looking for the text line, I don't know. Or whether you're at the gym and people come up and say, what's wrong with the Chiefs? Because you hear that all the time. What's wrong with the Chiefs? It's like they played close, especially if they lost. Which, keep this in mind. Patrick Mahomes has 3 games. 3. Where they have lost by more than one score. They are not blown out. That Super Bowl they were. That game's included in this. 3 games where he is lost by more than a touchdown and 2-point conversion. The only quarterback can say that, because Tom Brady was, yes, he was great with the Patriots, but there was games they were drilled. Aaron Rodgers has been drilled. Look at the first couple games for the Packers last couple of years.
Yeah.
Been drilled. Mahomes doesn't. He said it during the match, remember? That's why he's good for TV. Everything's close. He wins it, but he makes it close. Are you going to be able to stomach it if you're not in the AFC title game and all of a sudden you have to watch Cincinnati and Buffalo? Or Chargers would hurt. If Cincinnati was playing the Chargers in the AFC title game, that would hurt. That would be fetal position hurt.
I understand.
If those two teams were in the AFC title game, are you going to be able to stomach it?
How can they not stomach it? They've lost a Super Bowl. They've lost an AFC. They've lost 2 AFC title games in overtime.
That Rams-Bengals Super Bowl. People in this town debated whether to even watch the Super Bowl.
I know.
They couldn't stomach it. It was like watching your ex now with the doctor. Can't stomach
now
it.
with the doctor.
Yeah, she's like in a Porsche now, and you're like, what the hell? But you had trouble stomaching it. It was tough to realize. And when it happened, you sit here and go, how'd this happen? Will Kansas City Chiefs fans, because you know they're coming right back. Let's say they stumble in the first round of the playoffs or something. They don't get home field advantage throughout and they stumble. You know they're coming back. You know they're good for a Super Bowl trip every couple of years. It's going to happen. They're playing against professionals that are built to beat them. It will happen, but can you deal with it? I'm just judging by a lot of the reaction we get. I think it's hard for people to even stomach.
Well, I would think it was really tough for Chiefs fans when the Bengals were playing the Rams was because of the way we lost an AFC Championship game. You blow such a big lead at home.
Yes, that made it tough, but it made it tough watching somebody else.
Well,
there.
yeah, but I would say this. It wasn't, for me, it wasn't tough to watch when we lost to the Patriots and Mahomes' first career starting. It wasn't really hard for me to watch it. Yeah, I was upset we lost, but there was so much like potential in my mind, like, holy crap, we could actually be this team next year where the Patriots are and be in the Super Bowl because we were that close.
That was like such a sad thought and hope then
Yeah.
now.
Right.
But of course, nobody at that time realized that they were getting ready to win 2 Super Bowls in 5 years, host 5 straight AFC Championship games, attend 3 out of 5 Super Bowls. Like, nobody knew that was going to come around.
I'll tell you what was extremely difficult. It was, I never forget this, we did the post game at the other place. And it was after that 45-44 Chiefs-Colts game, the comeback. And then Chuck Pagano happened to be right there for the 101 Awards, which I went to the following week, as soon as the season ended, the 101 Awards, you can get to talk to him about it. But there's one playoff game that didn't bother me.
Okay.
Can you guess what that is? One loss, and you might say, that loss stings, but there was one postseason loss that I was like, and it's been recent, it's been within the last 10 years, that I did not care about.
Bucks?
I actually embraced it and said, let's move on. Let's turn the damn page right now.
Bucks Super Bowl?
Nope.
Colts?
2017.
Pittsburgh Steelers?
Tennessee Titans 22, Chiefs 21.
When Marcus Mariota caught a pass to
Alex
himself?
Smith was your quarterback.
Wow. That's a bleak one.
Because you knew that it's Mahomes time. You knew it's Patrick Mahomes time. When they lost that playoff game with the Titans,
whatever.
They said it. Turn the page now. This is Mahomes time now. Time to go. All right, get your loss in the playoffs with Alex Smith. Thank you for everything you did,
know what
Alex.
makes that one easier?
It is Patrick Mahomes time now. And you know what? Since that game, not look back. 3 Super Bowl trips, 2 Super Bowl wins. Patrick Mahomes, AFC title game every single year since that damn loss to the Titans, which I embrace at this point. No wonder Marcus Mariota is in that quarterback because he's a big part of my happiness.
I think Mahomes chose him just because he wanted to show him all sad. You're like, I'm going to show this to you. That was the last time the Titans ever had it on us.
Hey, the Titans still have it on the Chiefs. Like, I'm not trying to stay away from I would stay away from the Titans. They always have our number, it feels like. I mean, even when Mahomes is there, we beat them in the
better.
What?
I said they've gotten the better of him a couple of times.
Yeah. They always have Andy Reid's number. But I got a question for you, Bink. I mean, I think I know the answer, but during that time, like when you're watching that game, the Titans game, were you more upset or more surprised by when you saw the Marcus Mariota catch for a touchdown or when Andrew Luck scooped and scored the fumble by the goal line?
That hurt. I would say the Colts loss hurt because you're thinking the Horizons. You see the team, they started 9-0. Yeah, that game hurt. The Titans game, Marcus Mariota could have done whatever the hell he wanted, and I was fine with it because I knew it was Mahomes' time. And listen, it was probably tough for Andy Reid not to pull a Nick Saban when he pulled Jalen Hurts out, who was 26-2 at the time as quarterback at Alabama, and throws in a true freshman, Tua. And at that point, Tua was nails. Tua won the game. Tua won the national title. Probably the ballsiest coaching move I've seen was the national title game where Nick Saban benched his guy, Jalen Hurts, and put Tua in the game. Because that hadn't been tough for Andy Reid. Because Mahomes just didn't magically become good in 2018. No, he was doing this to their defense the year before. He was league MVP right after that. And you hear from Derek Johnson and Tom and all these guys that were talking about how good Mahomes was that year. That year in training camp in 2017, Brett Veach and those guys are running back to the dorms after practice to watch film of Mahomes during training camp because he was doing things that they were just saying, wow, you know how difficult that probably was not to put Mahomes in at halftime, or not at halftime of that game?
Probably tough.
Start the new era right then, see what he does.
Probably tough, but you got to stick with your guy at that point.
It
Well,
had to be
JT
tough.
had a question, so I'm guessing you do too. Let's get to the random question of the day.
Random question.
Binkley, you got a question for us today? I
I
handled
do.
trash, so I figured I'd let you handle a random question.
I do. You're obviously in the media game tonight.
That is correct.
The
The Sporting
ESPYs are on tonight.
KC media game is this evening.
I hate all award shows. Oscars, Emmys, it doesn't matter. Normally, ESPYs, I'm just not a big awards guy. But I do feel inclined. Patrick Mahomes up for Male Athlete of the Year.
Okay.
NFL Player of the Year. Chiefs are up for Team of the Year. Will you be watching the ESPYs? Well, I know you're not. You can't watch it live because you're going to be.
Would I watch the
You're going to be playing
ESPYs?
ball. Are you recording it?
No.
Will you come in tomorrow having watched it, or you just going to look for Twitter highlights or Threads highlights?
I haven't watched the ESPYs in its entirety ever. And certainly haven't even watched a portion of it that wasn't just like a social media clip in 10 years. I don't know. Like the last ESPYs clip I remember was like Stuart Scott. That's kind of the big one.
Are you hoping somebody gets slapped?
That's not going to happen. It's the ESPYs. Award shows
We saw the
stink.
Oscars. We saw a slap.
I
Didn't we?
don't watch any award shows. I don't watch the Emmys. I don't watch the Oscars. I don't watch the MTV Music Awards. I don't watch the ESPYs.
What was
I
the Will
follow
Smith?
and
Was that the
watch
Oscars? Will Smith?
Absolutely, yeah.
The slap?
I watch absolutely. I don't watch the Golden Globes or the Tonys. I don't watch any award shows. Oh! Do you watch award shows?
Yeah, I want to see some slaps. No, I don't like any award shows. But it is the only thing going because it is some Chiefs content. I guess I could watch you.
What? Yeah, watch me
Are they
play
going
in
to
a
show it
Sporting
on
KC
Apple?
media
They're
game.
going to show it on Apple?
I assume it'll be somewhere.
Where's it going to be, Cody?
I don't know. Maybe Sporting
You got a
KC's
bunch of
website.
cameras here.
Hold on, let me see if they told us that. I should have probably paid attention.
I got to watch you play wiffle ball.
In the email. Yeah, that was on TV.
I know.
Multi-sport Cody Tapp in the building.
But are they going to show you in this game tonight?
I'm scheduled for 3 or 4 events every year where I play some random soccer game or some random wiffle ball game.
Are you going to slap somebody?
Oh! No, I'm not going to slap anybody. I am willing to foul somebody in the game in order to win.
Slap them.
If that's what it takes.
You gonna flop? Are you gonna flop? Are you gonna do a flop?
Oh, you're going to flop.
I should flop.
That's the real question.
Get the plastic stretcher out there.
Has anyone ever flopped in a media game?
I've never watched a media game.
Well, I don't think it's flopping. People actually like pull their hamstrings and everything, and just like
That's always my
literally-
biggest. I'm telling you right now. If the first time I get hurt in a media game is the last media game I ever play in, I will retire.
Will you retire?
If I pull a hamstring or blow out a knee or something in a media game, that's it for me.
Are you mad the
War
Chiefs
time.
don't do this? Like a 7-on-7 or something?
You know what I want? I really want a Royals media game, like real baseball.
Yeah.
But the problem with baseball is then that requires someone to throw it over the mound. So I think they
He's
would
the
have.
pitching machine.
I think if you do that, let's do it. 45 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour. Shorten the bases maybe a little bit because I'm guessing most media people can't throw the ball 90 feet. Can't throw it across the diamond. Probably not a lot of guys who can throw it across the diamond from third. So probably got to shorten the bases a little bit. Let's just be honest.
Bring the
Shorten-
fences in.
Do it do it like Big Slick.
Yeah, Big
Maybe it's
Slick, yeah.
softball. Maybe it's softball instead. Most people can play softball or kickball, but at the K. Give us something that we can play at the K.
What about the Mavericks?
Or at
Yeah,
Arrowhead.
skate. Play some hockey.
That would be terrifying.
Do you think media would be
Also,
better in
Spec would-
baseball or
Spec
hockey?
would dominate.
Oh, Spec would.
Spec plays in a hockey league. If there was a media hockey game all of a sudden, Spec's immediately going to sign up.
He's
and
probably
then
the only one here that can
absolutely
skate.
Well, I can skate. I just
Backwards?
No, I can skate. I didn't say I could skate backwards.
Got to be able to do that. Just turn quickly.
No, I don't. No, I'm not going to learn to skate backwards. I'm just going to have to stop. It's a media game.
Like, who the hell would play in that?
I also can't bicycle kick, but they let me play in the Sporting KC one. I don't have to be able to do all the things the sport requires in order to play.
You never scored, though.
No. I've played in like
Current
4 of these
NM.
games. Nope, I've never scored a goal. I had a shot on goal last year, and I missed it.
Oh.
How bad of a miss was it? How bad of a miss was it?
It was not great.
Okay.
Got it off the side of the foot weird.
Hasn't Gold missed one?
Not good. Gold's never taken a shot. Gold plays defense.
Never taken a shot? What? Still shoot it.
Gold plays midfield. Who
cares if you're on defense or offense? Just go up and score. If you can score, go up and score. No one cares.
He doesn't do that. And he played organized soccer growing up, so he should be one of the more aggressive ones.
Are you playing offense or defense?
I always end up having to play offense because nobody wants to run that much. So
You're
then it ends
considered
up
a goal
me
scorer then.
Wishing for death. Well, I've never scored a goal, so I'm not that much of a goal scorer.
Yeah, wait your time.
Hey, at least you got a shot on last year, you said.
Yeah, I got a shot on goal, and I made a really good pass that led to a goal.
Got the
in
assist.
last year's game as well.
Is Rob playing this?
Really good pass. Threaded the needle to somebody. It was a very strong pass.
Anybody else playing, or just you?
Alex.
Oh, Alex can play?
Alex is going to play.
Rob should play.
Well, maybe he is. I don't know. I don't know the entire lineup for this.
Rob likes soccer.
To answer your question, Bink, I don't watch any award shows either.
Yeah.
The only time I watch them is the intro, because the intros are the funniest thing. Like Paul Rudd, I watched his when Patrick Mahomes won his first MVP and he turned around and he had the Mahomes put it into his jacket, and then you had Peyton Manning he was throwing shade. When their host throws shade at the people in the stands, it's the greatest.
Who's actually hosting tonight? Do we even know? That's a good thing to look up. Who's hosting it tonight? Again, I'm interested in what the Chiefs are going to do. Am I going to watch
I think Denver's actually going to win an award over the Chiefs this year.
Denver.
I think Jokic is going to outbeat Mahomes for best male athlete of the year.
Denver didn't beat Kansas City in anything.
I know. They only do is they take Nick away from us, but that's okay.
That's it.
Denny Matthews plays hockey. Text line 650. Yes, Denny Matthews loves hockey.
Denny Matthews was an incredible athlete.
Denny Matthews he'd be out there playing hockey.
He was a great athlete. Well, they get a media.
Still is, Cody.
I don't know if he still is. Come on. I don't even know Denny would say that. He still thinks he's a great athlete?
Well, why wouldn't he be?
Age. That's how age works.
He can skate.
Someone on text line made a great point. For your baseball, you want to play baseball, for your media days? Play at the Little K.
Oh, well, then it'd have to be wiffle ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get people real baseball.
Dusty out there cranking them.
Get killed.
Oh, man. Bink out there running around. I'm the DH.
No, there's no running around. Someone would have to run.
Someone's going to do it for Bink.
Designated runner for Bink.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. When we come back here on Cody and Gold, there was a list out on ESPN once again, but it left one very important Chiefs player off. We'll talk about it next.
Cody and Gold.
The facts on this show are irrelevant.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
If you're looking for a career change, there is only one place to look in the city. Centric. Centric.com/610 can head you on that path to finding out what your new career in IT can look like. You've been interested in IT across the board. You've been thinking, what am I going to do to get out of this career that I don't like? Where do I go? Where do I start? Well, they have classes starting at the end of July, which means you can get into a new class at Centric and start that career in IT. Doesn't matter if you want to do Amazon Web Services, if you're thinking about security training. There are so many different career options inside of it. We have them in radio. They have them in sports. It doesn't really matter the field. If you need a new career in IT, Centric can provide that for you. I was just talking to my nephew last night at dinner who went to Centric and has a new career in IT as a result of going there. These are the kind of things that you can do when you're going there. So go to Centric.com/610. Find out for yourself what our guy Russ Mondry can do for you. Tell Cody and Gold sent you. Tell him to walk you through the financing options with Sally Mae or the GI Bill. You can find all of those things in the 1,500 companies they work with. Go to Centric.com/610 today.
Is your old garage door a real clunker? Overhead Door Company of Kansas City is paying cash for your clunkers now. They'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards a new insulated door. $200 for the first garage door and $100 for each additional door. Cash in your old opener and entry door too. It's cash for clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. Schedule your free estimate at overheaddoorkc.com or call 816-221-0072.
Budweiser and Harley-Davidson. The greatest legacies are built with grit and resilience, one detail at a time. This summer, we're coming together to celebrate 120 years of dedication to craftsmanship with limited edition Budweiser Harley-Davidson cans. Available anywhere Budweiser is sold. For those who give everything to their craft, This Bud's for you. Don't drink and ride. Enjoy responsibly. 2023 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code UP80 for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's code UP80. Use code UP80 for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up. And if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a Frosty.
sandwich,
Dave's Single and a Frosty for me.
and a Frosty. Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
So the Kansas City Star recently named Jefferson's their favorite wings in KC. So they're celebrating with 50-cent wings all week at the Jefferson's in Lenexa and North Kansas City locations. And every customer will be entered to win free wings for a year. Thank you for naming Jefferson's best wings in KC.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Where are we on the lineup?
It's official. Avery is producing Main Street Music Days.
We need to be ready. We're going to have lots of people. What's the status on the new sound engineer?
They need an audio technician to keep things level from sound checks to encores.
Make sure audio from one stage does not compete with another.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. Cody and Gold will be live from the practice field during training camp this summer with live press conferences, exclusive one-on-one player interviews. Tune in weekdays starting at 10 right here on 610 Sports Radio. KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
If we say so, then we say so, cause we with it. If we lay low, then we lay low, cause we chillin'. Everybody gotta say they ball, even when the castle's about to fall. Yeah, yeah. If we say so, then we say so, cause we with it. If we lay low, then we lay low, cause we chillin'. Everybody gotta say they ball, even
Back in here, 1 hour to go on Cody and Gold, 610 Sports Radio. Cody Tapp, Jay Binkley with you. You can catch the show wherever you listen to the show. You can catch us on the video stream, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. I think we're working on getting maybe 610sports.com. Big 12 Media Days are going on.
Yeah.
Your Mark's already taking shots?
Yeah, they were asking about recruiting and what Brett McMurphy had Big 12s. Your Mark asked about OU and Texas carrying the conference in recruiting. I don't think they've carried the conference in recruiting. They've been our championship game the past few years.
Ooh,
so
that's a subtle shot. I mean, come on. I don't think you really take that shot at Oklahoma. That's more of a Texas joke than Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Oklahoma's a national powerhouse. They're one of the only.
Is ran your conference.
Yes.
Everybody knows that. They're going to run the SEC? I don't see that happening right away. Might take a while. But they're going into some Goliaths.
I'll be interested. I'll be really.
Well, they are too, but still.
I don't. Because I think once you get to the SEC, you find out just how good everyone else is. And that you're recruiting against everyone else. But you would think Oklahoma already has no trouble recruiting. Being in the SEC should only really strengthen that, I guess.
I mean,
it
they're
feels
going
like
to be
you
right
make them
there
stronger.
with Neil Money, Texas, Oklahoma. They'll be there with them. It's going to be Arch Manning in the SEC. Because Quinn Ewers be the starter this year. So then Arch Manning will get his shot at the SEC.
Dude, if he doesn't start this year, shouldn't he just transfer? That's what Quinn Ewers did.
But
he didn't start his
kind of knew that, I think.
I'm just saying. It's like that's how
Quinn
college
Ewers would be a guy.
football works.
Well, both of them are first-round picks, probably. But Ewers already been in the transfer portal. But Arch knew it, going in knew it. So maybe they thought it'd be the best situation to kind of wait. They're only going to get him for 2 years.
Maybe
this year if Ewers gets hurt.
If you're going to be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, you absolutely should not stay in school. And that's probably what he's realizing here. In about 10 minutes, we'll get to an idea Binkley has 4 extra innings for baseball that he was seeing discussed last night in the All-Star game. But ESPN's been putting out their top 10 list, and it's all players and execs that they're interviewing. So we've already seen Mahomes, the number 1 quarterback. Chris Jones was the number 2 ranked defensive end because, people still admire and believe in Aaron Donald across the board. We get it. But for the most part, there hasn't been some large-scale disrespect or anything for the Chiefs players. Probably until this one, in which L'Jarius Sneed was not listed in the top 10 corners in the NFL. And what I was trying to decide about what this means for him is, if the GMs don't see him that way, and the Chiefs have to decide on a contract, you might remember Nate Taylor. He came on the show a few weeks back, and we were having a conversation about the deal for Chris Jones. And this is how he said it affects Sneed.
Based on Chris Jones in that situation, if that gets rectified, let's say before training camp, then if I'm L'Jarius Sneed's agent, we need to have a deal done by opening night.
Yep.
We need to have a deal done by, when this okay, you get through cut down day, tell me who's on the 53, figure that out, figure out your little cap management, your little roster manipulation where you say we waived the veteran, but then we brought him back, and then the guy that was 53rd on the initial roster, we put him on the practice squad. All right, that takes about a day and a half. Then L'Jarius Sneed needs to be a priority. And it's a tough circumstance because you just don't have as much time as obviously Chris Jones, but he's obviously the bigger priority. That's one you've got to take care of. And whatever Chris does obviously can determine however the rest of, this season's cap will be managed. All that is to say is L'Jarius Sneed gets 6 days to feel important, other than to be can you just be professional and play really well this season too? And then maybe we'll talk to you in December, But that's getting harder and harder in this league because I think agents understand unless their client is so set on getting money sooner rather than later, the agent usually just tells you do you see how much quarterbacks get on the open market?
What's interesting about that means if you prioritized both, you would already be having these conversations with Sneed. And I honestly think the Chiefs are playing this right. I think with L'Jarius Sneed's contract this year, you have to do it the same way Charvarius Ward. Maybe end up paying him. Maybe end up being a long-term option for you. But because you drafted Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams, Trent McDuffie in the first, you took more corners again this year. I think you just have to wait and see with Sneed, knowing the deal's not going to get done in the amount of time we just talked about. Look, everybody doesn't set a training camp deadline. Technically, they could sign him in November. But you and I both know the in-season contract extensions are far less common with the Chiefs.
And they're going to have other contracts to be concerned about. Protection of Mahomes, Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey eventually. All these things.
Yeah, they'll start looking at other people they're going to have to pay and be like, is
They
he the one we're paying?
And they have to determine offensive line, corners. There's a bunch of corners. Again, they drafted Shamari Connor, can do a lot of the same things. The Chiefs have a history of drafting your replacement, as good teams do. They view people through the draft as a replacement of certain players that year, the next year, usually redshirt for a year, then in year 2, take over that role. But it's going to be tougher for him. Is he a tremendous player? Absolutely. Does he belong in the top 10? I think because of his versatility, yes.
But the
everything
NFL doesn't feel that way because you know what it is? Versatility, we use fans usually view it as a positive. But I feel like when people are ranking out like the best players at any position, that's why like utility players like Whit Merrifield, right? Even when he was playing like one of the better players in the American League during times when he was playing in Kansas City. Nobody ever said he was one of the best players in the American League. Because if you were one of the best players, they'd stop screwing with you, right? They just put you in place. Think if you were one of the best corners in the NFL, they would let you play corner. And I don't think you're wrong. I'm just saying that that's how I'm wondering if the league is viewing you that way.
Well,
I think sometimes it's easier to find somebody who's pretty good at everything versus great at something.
It's like Chris Jones. Do you move him to the outside or do you just keep him in the inside? But he's proved he can do both. The mini the same way, plays inside and outside. I think it's becoming more prevalent. I think the Honey Badger, everybody's kind of looking for that role. Guys, it didn't matter if you played safety. I mean, the traditional roles of, having a strong and a free safety, throw that. It's a lot of one safety looks, and you have corners that can play that certain role, but it's much different than it used to be. The standard 4-3, 3-4, and 2 safeties behind them. That stuff's gone out the window and how you start. Hell, the Chiefs, when they put out their depth charts like a nickel depth chart. It's not even like a traditional standard depth chart that you've seen. So it's all different, but Snead is able to play anywhere. And that's one thing. Like if a guy gets hurt, can you play the other roles? Does it matter where you go? Again, Brett Veach, when he was on Pat McAfee, he was talking about Reid. He says he just wants guys that if you're hurt, whether you're in the slot, whether you're in the outside, it doesn't matter. He wants you to know them all. That way if somebody gets hurt, you don't miss a beat. And they felt they had that situation hit them in the Bengals game where you have Jody Fortson going back doing wide receiver stuff. Noah Gray from tight end was doing some wide receiver stuff. Again, situation dictated, hey, know your role, know all the roles, and go do it. And it's kind of what the Chiefs have done. He's like the perfect mixture, obviously,
He's great
for this defense. For this team.
But I feel like other general managers, this is where they might be able to get a discount on Snead.
Try a low ball.
This might be the Orlando Brown situation. You might find out that less people view you as a 1 than we do. Because that's what happened with Orlando Brown Jr. The reason why he took less money for Cincinnati is he thought everyone was going to view him as a left tackle now that he'd played left tackle for 2 full years in Kansas City and had proven he could do the job. And then once he got out there, nope, the entire league still did not view him as a left tackle. A couple of teams did. Cincinnati and the Chiefs and maybe one other that wasn't very good. That's it.
Also, the fact that he played with Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, 2 extremely versatile mobile quarterbacks.
He's played with nothing but really good quarterbacks.
Yeah, they are able to get out of the pocket and make things happen.
He's going to go play with Burrow and Lamar and Patrick. You're like, well, you've really, for a guy who's played on 3 different teams, you've really gotten pretty lucky in the quarterback
And if Burrow ends up
department.
winning MVP at some point, 3 MVPs he's played with.
And don't forget, he also went to Oklahoma, and he had Kyler Murray also down there in Oklahoma.
God, has he played with a bad quarterback? I'll go back to his high school days. When the hell did Orlando Brown Jr. go to high school? I mean, I don't know if he had Kyler Murray Kyler Murray's a 2-year starter at Oklahoma, is that right?
Yeah, he had Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield.
Oh, so a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
2 Heisman. Wait, Kyler didn't win the Heisman.
I thought Kyler won it.
Oh, maybe he did.
He didn't.
Yeah,
He didn't, right, Bink?
No, Kyler won it.
Yeah, I was about to say, Kyler won, so
Okay.
did Baker.
So just to be clear, he's played with 2 Heisman Trophy winners in college and 2 MVPs so far in the NFL, and now Joe Burrow. A guy who will likely probably at some point win MVP.
I mean, you can
He
look
went
at it
to
2
Peachtree
ways.
Ridge
Like
High School, by the way.
he's been with quarterbacks that can get out of the pocket, do things with their legs, and make guys miss. When you think about the versatility and the mobility of the quarterbacks he's been with, that makes a big difference. Or you could look at it and say, well, he helped block for great quarterbacks. Depends on how you want to look at it.
But come on, you and I both know it's not that offensive line doesn't matter, Bink. I'm certainly not trying to say that. But you and I both know that the key to that success is way more on the quarterback than it is on the offensive lineman. Again, I don't know if that's the way it's going to, I don't know if in the end of this.
It can carry you so far, but we saw what happens in that Bucs game.
Yes.
Chiefs got there, but they didn't win there.
And that's largely what we're talking about here. Like whether or not he's going to make some sort of leap that eventually gets them there. And with Orlando Brown Jr., I just feel like that's what's happening with L'Jarius Sneed. It's not so much about Orlando Brown Jr., who I think is, again, a good player and was a good player. And, for all of those reasons, I think he'll have success there. But like with L'Jarius Sneed, I just wonder how the rest of the league is going to look at the guy. That's all. I just don't know how the rest of the league is going to look at him. I'm looking up, sorry, I was like digging deep into, for just no reason,
You looking for his high school quarterback still?
Yeah, his senior year, it was a kid named Bryson Sellers.
Is Bryson Sellers State Farm now or Progressive? Or
Who knows?
I don't know. He played at Virginia, so I mean, it's not like he's.
No, he went to Virginia. There you go.
Pretty good player if you play D1 sports. I think. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's really not important, and I'm not going to look up anything more about that player.
Well, I'll say this about you guys' this conversation about Sneed is I think even for Sneed's sake, he has to go to a team if he leaves the Chiefs and the Chiefs don't re-sign him. He has to go to a team that'll use him to his ability. Like he's shown that he can make a pass rush coming off the side and blitzing.
Yeah.
And I think he's shown what Tyrann Mathieu showed him, because I think that's what Mathieu showed him is, hey, don't show your blitz until it's about to come. And you saw that a couple times last year, including against Tom Brady. So he has to go to a team that's going to fit him best and not just take, I think, the money, because then he's not going to be used to his highest advantage.
And he'll take care of that, and I don't worry about that. But yeah, I do wonder whether or not this is the perfect fit. Binkley, you had told me.
Do you know how much, by the way, he weighed in high school?
Who?
Orlando.
I don't know, 220 pounds?
415.
What?
Whoa. Once a 415-pound high schooler, Orlando Brown, that was the baddest OL in college football. Do you remember at the combine?
415.
What was his bench press reps? It was terrible. It was like
12 or something.
He had a terrible combine. That's why he slipped. Orlando Brown Jr.
15.
Brown's high school coach had told him in a phone call around 8 the night before, so 6'8", 365 pounds senior. When was he big? He must have been big early on. And he got
Well, if
himself.
he's 415 pounds in high school, I'm assuming he's pretty big his entire damn life.
He is 6'8".
He's a big human. His dad was a professional NFL player.
Zeus.
I'm assuming he was big his entire life.
Yeah, he is nicknamed Zeus.
Binkley, you had mentioned earlier today you're watching the All-Star game last night, and you actually think they should end baseball games the way they were talking about in the game last night?
I sat around that whole time hoping for a tie.
Because, remind people if they don't know, what happens in the All-Star game if there's a tie?
They have a home run derby to decide the champion. They pick 3 batters each team. Home run derby decides the champion. I was thinking, would this work in regular season baseball? Because, okay, is it still exciting putting a runner on second? Okay, but the games get over quick. I was telling you, I miss the days of 11, 12, 13-inning games. You just don't see them anymore. Like, I miss those days.
You miss 13-inning games?
Absolutely.
I love baseball. I don't miss 13-inning games.
I miss longer games like that. But the traditionalist, that's not traditionalist, putting somebody at second.
So you want to do home run derby to decide regular season games or all games?
Not the postseason, regular season games. Why not? Why isn't that just as much intrigue or more intrigue than your guy on second?
Here's the argument I don't have against it, which is the shootout in soccer is amazing.
In hockey,
it's amazing.
It's exciting.
The fact that they ever got rid of it in either sport for even some stretch of time is ludicrous. I think deciding regular season games in gimmicky ways is fine. This is the same argument I would make for the Elam ending in both the NBA and college basketball. It's a regular season. There are 80-plus games in an NBA regular season. There are 160-plus games in an MLB regular season. If you want to decide, there's a lot of hockey. In the sports in which, not the NFL because it's only 17, but a sport in which there are that many games, you want to figure out a better way of deciding a regular season game? Fine with me.
They're doing the All-Star game. Why not do it during a regular season? Home run, that would be exciting. For fans sitting there saying, all right, we're getting to home run derby. That'd be fun. I mean, we already changed all the rules anyway. Eliminating the shift, the timeouts, down to 1, the pitch clock, the runner on second. You've already changed all these things. Why not add the element of excitement which is the home run derby to decide the winner of the game. Because that's definitely more exciting than extra inning baseball right now. Because once you started opening Pandora's box, go ahead and kick it in. Go ahead and kick it in. The fact that they're willing to do this in the All-Star game, perfect.
No, do it in the regular season's fine.
Yes.
Be like, well, then you're deciding these wins and
Can you
losses
imagine Bobby
by.
Witt Jr., somebody like that, or Sal Perez coming up in extra innings?
You would have to construct your roster. Like, how many games a year do you think it would come down to? And let's just say that it wasn't after 9 innings. Let's say it's, hey, if you're tied after 11 innings, it's derby time, baby. We're going. Then fine. Then it's not decided in a gimmicky way. How many 11-inning games are you going to play in a given year anyway? 5? It's not enough. It's 162 games. You're not going to change the way you build a roster. It's not going to, like, those 5 games aren't going to, you're not going to just carry some, like,
with the guy on second.
Yeah. Look, and if you want to change the way it carries your roster, fine. You want to be the team that is so deep that your 26 man is just a guy who slugs it over the fence in case you get into the 12th inning, so be it. These sports should lean into the entertainment part of it. We've already steered away from the traditional stuff in baseball anyway. They're putting guys on second. They've shortened the way these games work. They're eliminating shift properties in baseball. They're already, in a lot of ways, leaning in towards a younger demographic for the sport. Then lean fully in.
And fans would sit there around the 8th, the 9th innings, just hoping for that. Like I was the All-Star game last night, hoping for the tie.
Yeah.
Wanted to see it because that would have brought up more discussion about it. Now it's rarely probably going to be discussed.
Quick update on our guy, Chiefsaholic. He has been extradited back to Missouri, Big. He's in the state.
Really?
So on Monday, you weren't here.
He didn't get away on the plane?
No, he did not.
What was that show called with with Nicolas
Con Air?
Cage? Con Air, yeah.
So, yeah, Con Air, great movie. But so on Monday when Dusty was in, I pitched the idea and I think we should do it. I think we should see if we can get Dusty an exclusive one-on-one interview with Chiefsaholic as a special correspondent for Cody and Gold. This makes it sound very official and newsy. We'll send Dusty Likens as an official correspondent for Cody and Gold for Wolf on Wolf. Right?
I love it.
He's the dirty werewolf.
Love it.
He's Chiefsaholic dressed as a wolf. Wolf on wolf interview, one-on-one, in whatever Missouri prison he is currently being held.
Should
The
he
real
show up
question
to the
is,
hearing wearing the wolf costume?
when he was arrested initially, he was asking people for money for his life rights. What do you think we would need to raise in order for him to give us just one exclusive, the first exclusive radio interview for Cody and Gold? I'll send him in there with a recorder.
Well, Dateline gets his stuff.
Well, I mean, it can definitely be arranged. The question is, will he give us access? Do we write him? How do you get in touch with someone in prison?
He likes
Like, if we want to pitch him we're 610 Sports Radio, we want the first exclusive interview. What do you need? Do you need stamps or ramen or whatever, man? What kind of things do you need? Do you need just some money in the books for commissary? What is it? Do I need to send some money to a family member? What is the thing you need in exchange for this exclusive one-on-one interview here on 610 Sports Radio? That's what I want to know.
People want to hear from you because they do.
Do you think he's going to profess his innocence if he comes on this show?
Probably. Oh,
Like, legally, he probably should.
I mean, yeah, I would assume he's like, hey, I didn't do any of this.
How would a jury be more lenient on you if you're dressed like a wolf?
Like in court?
If
No.
he shows
They're
up
gonna
to
be
court,
like, this person needs to be locked away.
If he shows up in court
No,
in the
dude.
wolf costume,
People don't think people who wear costumes
wouldn't
every day
laugh
are
about it?
normal. They make fun of them.
Hey, Bink, if I had a list for some of the stuff you've said today, it would be a comedic acknowledgement of a list. Because we first talked about a poodle that was 200 pounds. We've now talked about wearing a wolf costume
to court.
If I was on the jury, that'd be a hung jury.
Just because?
Because I'd be laughing at
You
this
already
guy's dressed like a wolf.
Why would you wear the costume that was on camera showing you rob the bank?
But
with
he
it?
didn't wear the costume to rob.
I could have swore it was the mask on.
No, that was not him robbing the bank like the wolf. That was some other wolf. Remember that? That was not him.
We've had multiple wolves.
He
who
never
rob
robbed
banks.
the bank dressed like a wolf.
No, that was a different one. That was photoshopped or...
He never robbed the bank dressed like a wolf, but he could show up to court dressed like the wolf. That way you don't see your expressions. You don't see if you're angry, happy, whatever. You're dressed like the wolf. People in the jury would not be able to take you seriously.
Can someone find out on the text line 913-586-7610 who knows a better way to navigate the site? Tell me which Missouri prison he is currently being held in.
And can you find out, I know the lawyers listen, can you dress like a wolf in court?
I'm sure
'Cause
you
no one's ever
can.
done
I
that.
just don't think it's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea.
It probably also depends on the judge. You know, I've been to one of those. Have you been to court before?
Not like that.
I've been, well, not for bank robberies, but I've been in court. And, you know, sometimes they're like telling the people to, hey, you should wear a tie in my courtroom. Or, you know, like they're criticizing their like choice of not wearing a button-down shirt. Depends on the judge. Depends on if the judge is a jerk.
Which judge likes a chief?
I know I'm the member of probably 610 Sports Radio who's been in the most legal trouble over the course of their time, although it'd be very mild by a lot of people's standards. But it largely, I would say, depends on the judge. And I'm assuming most judges, Binkley, wouldn't want you showing up in a wolf costume. It's a hunch.
You don't think it'd help him?
Someone goes, he would get out on insanity plea if he wore it.
I mean, that wouldn't help. It wouldn't hurt that. If
Judges
really
don't
going for
allow
that.
mockeries in their courtroom. Okay, well, he's known as that, though. Even on his court documents, it says his name. It says AKA at Chiefs Hall.
Did you see in that entire FBI? So there's an entire like FBI release about the guy. It included the final score of the Chiefs Super Bowl. It's like, and the Chiefs won the Super Bowl 38-30. It's like, he does not need to include that. Clearly, the FBI guy is a Chiefs fan. He included the final score of the Super Bowl in an official press release for the FBI department in Kansas City. A completely unnecessary fact for all the things you're charging him with. And yet still somehow he managed to do it, which is amazing.
816, I don't think you can wear a mask in courtroom unless it's COVID. Well, he could say that he's still concerned about COVID when he wears the mask.
Someone goes, if he wore the mask, would his court be carried out in a pound?
Oh, man.
Would you convict him, Wolf?
Yes, immediately. I would just assume anybody who shows up like that probably did the crazy things that they're being accused of. I know that. When we come back, we'll get you what's trending. Plus, let's keep an eye out on which Royals players in the second half of the season.
Cody and Gold, live from the Chiefs practice field this summer. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Hey, it's Alex Gold for my friends at Midwest Marine Boat Company and Yamaha Motor. The summer weather isn't the only thing that's hot, we know that. Well, Midwest Marine Boat Company has sizzling prices on all 2023 models with the lowest prices of the year. It's not too late to enjoy your summer on the water and let Midwest Marine Boat Company show you how Yamaha Motor revs your heart. Come see Midwest Marine Boat Company's new massive showroom at 13800 South Highway 71 in Grandview now. Midwest Marine Boat Company. We take pride in your fun.
Hi, I'm Andrew Mackey, an instructor at Centric and an Army veteran. If you're transitioning from active duty or already a veteran and aren't quite sure of your next steps, Centric is a great option for your future. You can use the problem-solving and leadership skills you gained in the military towards a new, exciting career in IT in just 4 months. If you've been looking for a way to get started in the IT field, put your GI Bill to work and start your new career in IT. Go to centric.com/610 for more information. That's CENTRIQ.com/610.
My friends at Window World asked me to tell you about a very special auction benefiting Action for Autism. Action for Autism is a Missouri organization that provides therapy and learning for kids ages 2 to 21 to help them prepare for a successful future. You can bid on a whole home renovation worth $40,000. To place your bid, go to the Kansas City Chiefs website or windowskc.com. The bidding starts at $15,000. The auction will close on July 27th, and it's so easy to register. The renovation package includes windows, exterior wrapped, insulated siding, gutters, doors, and much more. Every penny of the proceeds go to Action for Autism. You can make a donation. If you choose not to submit a bid, all you need to do is go to windowskc.com for all the details. 1 out of 68 children born today are diagnosed with autism, and you can make a difference in these kids' lives by making a bid or a donation at windowskc.com today.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands to treat ED at up to 95% off. That's right, the same active ingredient as the brand name for 95% less. It's the same ED medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/radio. That's forhims.com/radio for your free online visit. forhims.com/radio.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
Those stomach issues ruined your birthday.
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa.
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
if these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and a
chicken
Frosty.
sandwich,
Dave's single and a Frosty for me.
and a Frosty.
Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Not all water heaters are made equally. Some can be temperamental. Some can be unreliable and don't even think about what happens if you have neighbors downstairs.
Why is it raining inside my apartment?
Not with a Navien tankless water heater. You'll never run out of hot water. You only heat water when you need it, saving you tons in utility costs. Navien tankless water heaters. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com to learn more.
I'm James, senior apparel designer, and this is Behind the Design with Brothers and Sons. Brothers and Sons is a brand that is just a guy who loves the outdoors, really playing up the comfort in the touch of fabrics and then just making sure it has that durability. We are creating uniqueness and opportunities with design and fabrics and function. Brothers and Sons, only at Boot Barn.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Max Motors. 9 major vehicle brands to choose from. MaxMotors.com.
Max Motors saved me thousands. I got a lot more for my trade, and they got me a low interest rate. I know I saved over $100 per month on my payment. It was worth the drive for me and my family.
Make it a smart buy and save thousands. MaxMotors.com.
What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending this day.
First up on What's Trending, there was a big report out of ESPN.com from DVN and Seth Wickersham stating that Roger Goodell is still at odds with both John Gruden, it seems like, and Raiders owner Mark Davis. I mean, this certainly makes it seem like they do not get along at this point, and he felt like it was personal. Most of the reports suggest the idea that Dan Snyder can be pretty much traced all the way back to the original Gruden leak in general, which was him trying to take heat off of himself, which is the most, Dan Snyder thing of all time. If you get a chance, read the report. It's really interesting. It also highlights one of the reasons why the rest of the NFL wanted Snyder gone.
Yeah, they did. So now he is gone. So now they move on with that. But Sean Payton was brought up in here because of the fact of what he said about Gruden, and he actually paid the fine that he had. But, yeah, long article. Was interesting on some of the stuff, and I think this will be the next 30 for 30, by the way. Actually, this is Netflix written all over it.
Are you sure it's not going to be Chiefsaholic first?
That would be more interesting.
You think Snyder or Chiefsaholic gets a 30 for 30 sooner?
Snyder, because Chiefs Hollick will take
Dude,
some
he
years.
did so many shady, really terrible things in the amount of time he was there.
Which one?
Snyder.
Oh.
Well, Chiefsaholic did some
Allegedly.
bad stuff too, but yeah, it's all alleged, I guess. But you've seen all the reporting.
Yeah.
It's like the way he was treating the people who worked for him, the cheerleaders.
It's not been
He's
good.
apparently
Not been
leaking
good.
this because he didn't like somebody else. The
The animosity with Davis, though. Whoa.
One of the things in this report is that they had this whole big investigation into the things that were going wrong in their organization. Okay, so then according to this report, they're getting ready to explain their side of things in front of some NFL execs that include Roger Goodell, and instead it was just a PowerPoint slide of blackmail material, being like, "Look at these emails I have of you being a jerk." Not saying racist or homophobic things like that occurred in the Gruden stuff or what Dan Snyder's accused of. But like things that would make Roger Goodell and other owners and other people look bad.
And they
what
do
the
not
report
want
says.
that out there.
He just had like a blackmail PowerPoint. Well, then it also said that pretty much he got to, the NFL really helped Dan Snyder out. They let him like pre-approve some of the language and the stuff that was out there. It was never called a suspension. They just said he was stepping, whatever. They protected his ass so bad in all of this. The NFL doesn't look great either. Roger Goodell looks very soft in this. But you and I both know who Roger Goodell's boss is. The owners.
Yeah.
Included, for at least a while, Dan Snyder.
American League loses the All-Star game, actually. First time in a long time. It'd been 9 straight for the American League. I mean, they've won like 17 in the last 20.
Yeah, they've had
there
a
was
run.
that tie back there in 2002. Then there's a long stretch of wins, 12 straight. Actually, they didn't lose the game, I think, in 12 or 13 games because that tie was mixed in there, so they didn't lose the game. AL hadn't lost since 2012. I think as viewers, we did lose the game because we didn't get to see the home run derby to decide this.
That would have been cool. We needed one more run.
It was
Salvi
cool
got on
seeing
base and
Perez.
scored a
It
run.
was still cool seeing Perez. I mean, it's always
Yeah.
cool to see a Royal.
He's just good in the clutch. A lot of it reminds me of this. Is like it's an all-star game. Perez doesn't care if his team is playing for nothing or if his team is playing for everything. He is the same person, the same performer, the same producer. He comes through, man.
He's
he
out there having
comes
fun
through.
now.
Yes. Just loves baseball, loves coming through, loves to play. It's why I don't want him to go anywhere in Kansas City, but it's also like I would understand why he ended up somewhere else because other teams should see his value. Next up on What's Trending, speaking of Major League Baseball, they're looking to soften their pitch timer for the upcoming playoffs. Try to make it a little less strict, Bink. They want a little more leeway in how quickly you need to step up to the plate and swing for those big postseason at-bats. I say why go backwards when you're moving forward? Attendance is up. Average age of the people attending and watching your games is down, which is good for baseball. Why mess with it if it's working? Nobody's asking for longer postseason games. I don't want to go back to 4.5 hours Yankee Red Sox games.
Yeah, learn from other sports when they make changes because people have wanted the
And they
changes.
work.
And they work, and the people are happy about it, and they're showing up to the games, and the attendance is up, and people are watching. Don't go backwards. Keep going forwards. This is a bad deal for Rob Manfred to be thinking about this with Major League. There's still some things out there. People want to see the robotic umps more than something like this.
Yes.
Yeah,
Just make the game better. Don't go backwards.
Yeah, don't go
That's
backwards.
going backwards. There's no reason to go backwards just for the postseason. Like if it's the home run derby thing, fine, Bank. If you make a regular season rule, okay. It's like the runner on second thing. If you had made that just a regular season rule that doesn't apply to the postseason, fine. But the pitch clock, that needs to be across the board. Don't make the games longer just because it's the postseason. They probably just want to sell more advertising, Bank. You know how it is.
Also, it looks like the New York Jets, well, it's not looked like, but the Jets have been selected for Hard Knocks, something we all wanted. It's something we're all getting. There's 4 teams out there. I mean, you don't want to see the Bears in this game. You don't want to see. You want to see the New York Jets with all the everybody came here. The New York Packers, to the extent now. Nathaniel Hackett back in New York now after a failed experiment in Denver. You got Aaron Rodgers going with the New York Jets. You have Zach Wilson.
Are you interested? You know what? Do you watch it every year?
I do watch every year. How about a night out with Zach Wilson?
Are you talking about picking up women? You and him
Yeah.
together?
See
you and
who's-
Zach
yeah.
Wilson picking up women together?
See some old Cole Hardman in this. So we will see the Jets. The Jets are the right team. It doesn't matter if they're one of the 4 finalists for this anyway. I think the Jets would have been the team we wanted to see. So we end up getting who we wanted to see after all. But yes, I do like Hard Knocks.
I don't know who they're going to show, but I'll tell you, Aaron Rodgers is going to try to be off camera as much as possible or make a mockery of it because that's what Aaron Rodgers does. Lastly, on What's Trending, according to Diana Rossini, the Giants and Saquon Barkley are still in an absolute stalemate regarding their contract talks. The theme seems to remain that Saquon Barkley will consider sitting out regular season games if he has to play under the franchise tag.
They have till July 17th to sign franchise tag players. That deadline is quickly coming up. Saquon Barkley, amazing talent, amazing talent. But Saquon just shows kind of the way teams view the running back position now. Somebody that good at what they do. Because beforehand, everybody just, here's the money. Here's the money. You pay your franchise running back. But I can't think of one team except where a running back actually dictates if you win or lose, like I guess the Titans with Derrick Henry. But that's going to fall off here. This year, next year, there's too many carries for him. So we're going to see this fall off too.
Don't forget, all the way through August, or at least for part of August, the Let's Play Sports Equipment Drive by Pinnacle Bank will give you a chance to support the Urban Youth Academy and the youth of the city by donating your gently used or new sports equipment over at the Urban Youth Academy. They'll accept those things Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Looking for baseball, softballs, used or gently used or new catcher's equipment, equipment bags. Monetary donations can be made at 610sports.com. Help out in any way you can. And coming up on July 20th, so next Thursday, Alex and I will be sitting outside Gate D, taking your donations prior to Royals and Tigers as well.
You guys are going to be sitting a lot of places.
Well, we'll be in St. Joe next Wednesday, out in front of Kaufman next Thursday, and then we'll just start being out in St. Joe a lot. That's not a lot of places, the same place, but just a lot more often.
Yeah, but Kaufman, St. Joe.
Can't wait, man. Absolutely can't wait. That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. So I want to focus on the Royals here for just a minute before the show. I know we could talk Chiefs, and of course our Chiefs conversations are driven by Max Motors, but the Royals' second half of the season's getting ready to start, and I feel your apathy. Not yours necessarily, Bink. I know you'll watch sports under most circumstances, but I feel the fans' apathy, and nobody blames you for that. We'll do a roundtable discussion tomorrow from 9 until 11. Vern, me, Kling, Josh, Bob, Alex, Carrington will all talk about where the Royals
Vern
are.
first.
No, Vern's good. He's confirmed for that. I should have double checked for today. That's on me. Didn't realize he was out of town. That's on me. But when you look at what you've got to decide the things that you think matter the most in the second half of the Royals. And it's really two players. It's Bobby Witt Jr. and Brady Singer for me. I know how many other players matter for this team going forward. I know I want to see development from Massey and Waters, and I want to see Daniel Lynch continue to have success or other bullpen arms. But the two guys who actually matter, like if you think they're getting out of this hole in any kind of relative speed, Bink, if you think that inside of 2 years they can find themselves competitive again, those two players are going to start heading in a very different direction. Singer needs to return to what he was last year, and Brady and Bobby Witt Jr. needs to continue to develop into a top 30 player in the American League. Because he's not that yet, Bink, but for the first time in a long time, don't you at least see the signs? I'm not saying tomorrow when we have the State of the Union, I'm going to just give you rainbows. Because right now, it's pretty bleak. But there are still hope with the young hitters if you can start seeing signs. Nothing they do the rest of this season, though, will convince me they're going to be competitive next year. They could win 40 of the next 60 games, and I don't think I would talk myself into them being competitive next year.
Yeah, it's the hole they dug. Again, they hit 40 games under 500, the fastest they've ever done in franchise history. They did that Saturday night. Sunday, of course, changed 39 games under 500. But what can you really learn? A lot of times you wonder what you can learn. And I tell you what this much, though, Cody, it does matter, in my opinion, that so many teams are still alive with the extra playoff teams. Because remember when September numbers didn't matter? It was always brought up. What's your September numbers? Does it matter? I think it's more tangible now, the numbers you have, because other teams are still in it and competitive.
Yeah,
and
there's
still
way more teams who are trying.
You don't have the call-ups that you were dealing with in the past, so you get to learn a lot about these guys. I guess Maikel Garcia, he's sitting there at the 1-9 WAR, a third amongst rookies. See his development, and Bobby. You're like, who you get to find at your core? Vinny, we know, is part of the core, but he's hurt. But Vinny's part of the core. Who are you going to be your core players, and then you build around those? Pitching staff obviously matters. Brady Singer coming back. So right now it'd be Maikel Garcia and / Bobby Witt Jr. because I want to see core players play, and then your Brady Singers, your Daniel Lynch, guys like that. What do you have in your what's your rotation?
Bullpen, I'll figure it out next year because they're going to trade away some of these guys.
Because you got to have a rotation, And you need a core of players to build everybody else around. The core stable players, they're never going to change. They're only going to continue to be better. So for me, if you said 2, I'd probably go like Mikel and Brady Singer. But if you give me the opportunity to have multiple players, obviously the core.
The hitting core.
The hitting
or just
core.
the young core.
And what obviously we can't see.
I mean, they've got such a massive. That's the part that probably be like, you know what I want to see? Growth from the young core. I'm like, that's half the roster. Massey, Waters, Bobby Wood Jr., MJ Melendez, Singer,
Prado.
Lynch, Prado, Garcia.
Taylor when he's up. Samad Taylor.
Yeah, dude, it's like such a long list. You can't just be like, I hope the young core gets better. That just means you hope the team's better. I do. I obviously hope the team is better.
One thing that last year, it was all about leadership. Because I remember even when Mike Matheny happened to be joining us that one day I sat in here and you know, he was, because I even asked him about leadership, and with Witt gone and Benton, it was time for the younger voice to be heard. Like, more guys need to stand up and say something.
Yeah, and I got
Perez,
tired of the
leaders.
players who were the older ones who had just like given up on winning. Here.
Again, we talked about it yesterday, the toilet smashers. Who's going to take losses personally and be tired of it?
Is this how we got in the Trey Hillman conversation with the CD?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, the other thing, too, is, I mean, as silly as it sounds, as Major League the movie sounds, a winning streak, like, can you start to win games? Like, that's the ultimate importance. You know, sometimes you got to put personal numbers aside. Can you win games? Are you good enough to actually win games? This team had a winning streak. They haven't won 3 in a row.
I do wonder.
The A's even won 7 in a row this year.
I do wonder a little bit. Because John Sherman's said this, and I believe J.J. Piccolo's echoed it a little bit, which is they think part of their problem is like confidence, right? They got to believe that they can win, which always sounds good in theory. Like, I mean, nobody wants to hear that because you're like, what? There's just no way that's the difference between you have 25 wins at the All-Star break and you're an actual competitive baseball team. You got to believe in yourself. But I do kind of want to see if they're right. So I hear that sentence and I'm like, oh, gross. I want actual production, actual winning. Talent wins. Talent wins games. But prove it to me. Let me see this team get hot for just a minute and see if they can propel that into actual winning and believing in themselves. They can win 7 to 10 games and includes a 4 or 5 game winning streak, Bink. And let me see if they can take that momentum and not just like be bad after those 10 games.
Like, I'll just win the 5 or 10 and then just go on a 7-game losing streak.
Yeah, I've watched plenty of Royals teams win 5 games in a row and then immediately proceed to lose 7 of the next 8. So if you think that what this team actually needs is just to believe that they can win again, well then, okay, let me see it. Let me get that small win streak going so I can find out if you're right. That if they just have for a moment this feeling of, oh, look, we are good. We are talented enough. We can. Because I know that confidence in an individual player can be a big thing. That all of a sudden, if they start feeling comfortable, there is a big difference in what they're able to do. Because I obviously think that that's part of what, fuels guys like Bobby Wood Jr. You get confident, you get comfortable, you start performing better. But then, I mean, can that work for a whole team, Bink? I don't know. I mean, I want there to be things to root for in the second half for the Royals, but it's going to be tough.
Look at the team like the Reds. For most part, a lot of guys that people didn't know of. Obviously, people know about Ellie De La Cruz when he came up here and did that. Well, this team had 100 losses last year.
Yeah.
They had 7,300 people to game 2 months ago.
Yeah, but they had 100 losses like 3. But their young talent came up and is now winning. The Royals' young talent is up and it's not.
But they learned how to win.
Yeah.
And that mattered. They parlayed it to something else. They learned to. And you know what? For the most part, a lot of this young core the Royals have, they won in high A.
Yeah, they won.
They won some games in Double A.
A lot of them had a lot of success in the minor leagues.
Heck, MJ
Brady
Melendez,
Singer and Lynch and Bubich were all very good in the minors.
He won it when Lexington was part of the Royal system. MJ won down there. Remember how good that team was?
Oh, did he really?
The Lexington Legends, won a title. I mean, there's been titles won. Remember a couple years ago, it was 19 or something, 5 different Royals organizations.
I remember that.
Won minor league titles. It's not like Salvi and Duffy and these guys. They won a Texas League at Northwest Arkansas. They won a PCL title up with Omaha. But but we didn't see that happen. We didn't see it come to fruition. There was 5 different Royals teams, or 5 or 6. It was a bunch of them that actually won titles several years ago, but didn't parlay itself in anything. But you think, okay, that's how you do it. You learn to win.
The
That
problem
worked
is
with the last group.
the scariest part about it, and I guess the reason why you want to see them win is the scary thing about it is you and I both know that is if they lose too much, what will happen will be what happened the last time, which is they got comfortable. Like Whit loves to win. Whit is one of the most competitive people I've covered in sports. Whit Merrifield. He's one of the most competitive people I've covered in sports. But at some point, the losing he got used to it. And so did Dozier, and so did O'Hearn, and so did everybody else also, and so did Keller, so did this whole group of players that it just washed over them. The losing was second nature. You desperately want to avoid that with this group, which is why, winning some in the second half does matter for them. Not for where they're going to be next year right away, but just so they're not used to it. Because if they end up with the franchise record and losses at 117 or whatever, 116, is that what they're on pace for?
116, yeah.
The franchise record is 114?
They're on pace for 116, but it changed quickly.
Yeah, but you don't want that. Avoid that.
No, you don't want that on your record. And the other thing, too, is we talked about yesterday a little bit, identity. Find your identity. Because right now, Cody, they don't have one. Like they don't. You have to hang your hat on your identity. What Chiefs, if I ask you their identity right now, easy to say. It's Mahomes. As good as the defense can be, whatever, it's about Mahomes. It's about Andy Reid. It's about putting pressure on defenses, having the number one offense in the NFL, number one points per drive the last 2 years. It is about the offense with the Chiefs. You know exactly what that team's identity is.
They don't have an identity yet.
They don't.
They should.
They need one.
They should just try to be young, fast, and hit.
Well, the thing I told you, Dave
Because
Roberts
pitching
said,
right now, I can't even pretend like that's gonna be their
Dave
identity.
Roberts, the things he said about the Royals when the Royals beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. He said a lot of things like, okay, this is something you can go with your young core. Use this, putting pressure on defenses, moving around the bases, scoring, putting pressure. I mean, the things Dave Roberts said, you can build upon.
I hope you're right, Bink.
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I think one of the things I want to see from the Royals is I want to see them when it gets when they get down by runs, they don't shut down. It seems like this season so far, if they get down by runs, they, like you talk about learning how to win, I need them to learn how to get back into games once they start losing. You just haven't seen that from that young team yet, and you're hoping to see that come forward in the second half.
Someone on Twitch just said, just get the first pick. That's what I want to pay attention to. Like, bad news, man. It's a lottery system now. Not guaranteed the first pick, and this will be the last year they get to pick in the top 10. Because the new Major League Baseball rules against tanking mean you only get to pick in the top 10 for the lottery. You only get to be in the lottery 3 years in a row. Then no more. Then you have to wait a year before you get to be in the lottery 3 years in a row again. Which means this year, when they inevitably finish and get in the lottery, that's 3 years in a row. So... Or 2 years. Oh, maybe they got
2 years in a row.
Oh, all right,
they got one more year.
All right, one more year.
They're 24.
One more year.
Cody's whole demeanor changed right there when you go, and I got one more.
One more chance at the lottery. It's tough. This is why we're going to do the Royal State of the Union tomorrow. So pay attention. That way we'll be all set. And the 5 of us will figure out a way to ferry us through this. Because one way or the other, it's not going to be pretty. Not going to be pretty.
A lot of work to be done. And you're trying to sell the stadium.
Binkley, before we get out of here, because I know we're almost out of time here. What do you think I need to... So I was looking at the rosters for the Sporting KC.
Yeah. Hope for rain tonight.
There are 2 former professional NFL players on the other team. There are 2 players who cover the team for Telemundo, and at least one I know for a fact played for the Wizards. So... played professional soccer. Cheat? What do I do here? I'm afraid we're going to lose.
Like I said,
cheat?
Hope
Should
for
we
rain.
just cheat?
Hope for rain.
What's rain going to do? Is that
besides
play?
What happens if you lose?
Play.
Is there any wager on this if you lose? Like, is there bad things that happen to you?
No, but I don't like to lose. I'm competitive.
Okay, I'm just making sure there's nothing bad happening to you.
The losing hasn't washed over me like what we just talked with the Royals. No, I'll just be sad.
Hope for
the
rain.
The worst thing that can happen to me tonight is that I get hurt because of the rain. I should actually be rooting against the rain. Bakley, thanks for filling in the last couple of days. JT, thanks for filling in
my
for
man.
us.
We'll see you soon, buddy.
Yeah, we'll see him more on this show, I'm sure, coming up. The Drive coming up next with Carrington and Rob.